Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and family beyond the binary, hello and welcome to the Hyperion Cup. My name is Warren Juggle God Hammond, and tonight I am joined by Goob Dude. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, Juggle?
I'm doing great. Just came out of a VOD review with a contenders caster, and so I decided I was feeling big brain after that. So I put on my science suit tonight, and gotta say I love what you're sporting too.
Yes, it's the. I always know you dress to the nines, Juggle. I just had to match you. I had no choice.
Oh no, this is fantastic. Even with the bow tie, I don't think that was there actually the last time I saw you on the camera. So that's fantastic. Well, we've got a great game coming up for you tonight. Tempest Typhoon, a very flexible team, willing to do what it takes on whatever map they're on to win, going up against Frost Nova, who had a little bit of a rough start so far this season, but they've got a deadly Pharah one trick on their side, and they're going to be looking to use them a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to seeing what both of these two teams do tonight. I know that Frost Nova and Tempest Typhoon have both been giving a magnificent effort this season so far. Juggle, I'm curious though, what kind of comps do you think we're going to see tonight from both teams?
I think we're going to see a lot of six man and brawl coming out from Tempest Typhoon. They seem to really favor those compositions. And looking at Frost Nova at the moment, I'm sure they're going to want to force the Pharah as much as they possibly can, because with a player like Xeno on their team, who can just make whatever they want to work on Pharah, they're going to be looking to enable them as much as possible. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a wrecking ball composition or even a brawl composition, but with a Pharah in tow instead.
Yes, certainly. And I think in the terms of Tempest Typhoon, I know that they love to favor a lot of Brawl. They love to favor a lot of six man. I think we're going to see tons of that tonight as well. I mean, six man has been pretty fantastic for most of the teams in this tournament. I think it's a go-to
Mm-hmm.
pick.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Now, one of the things that I think is going to be very fascinating about these matchups, right, is the fact that both Six Man and Brawl, they don't really deal with Pharahs, right? There's nothing in those compositions innately that has any, effect on a flying hero like Pharah. So I'm going to be very interested as what is the way that they are going to neutralize Xeno as a threat? Are they going to just there's two routes you can really go, right? You can either just ignore the Pharah, right? And then just they're the last person alive with their Mercy in tow, and then you deal with them, right? Take care of the core of the team of Frost Nova. Or do you look to counter them, right? Is Xena going to be such a pain for them that they're going to have to find an answer with some kind of long range hit scan? Maybe a soldier, maybe an Ash, something like that.
It will certainly take some adaptability on their parts. I know that for certain. But again, like I said, both of these teams have put a great effort into the series so far. I'm looking forward to what they pull out tonight. It's going to be pretty great.
As am I. We're going to be starting out on Apollo. This is going to be a very fascinating choice because, again, I'm going back to that Pharah of Xenos, right? Do they force the Pharah if we end up on a place like Sanctum, right? Is that going to be, an issue for them? You could certainly play the Pharah on the other two maps, Village and um, Shrine, both very amenable to that hero pick. So if we go to Sanctuary, I think that's going to be one of the more interesting looks that we get at both of these teams.
I could say tonight that I'd be quite excited to see a Brawl v Brawl as well, because I know that Frost Nova likes to run a little bit of Brawl, and like you said, the Pharah
Mm-hmm.
along with it. But I don't know. I've always been a big fan of Brawl. I love to see the way they collapse on one another, and I think we'll see plenty of that tonight.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Both these teams going to be looking to really make a statement. I think tonight, Frost Nova, they need a win. They need a win in their column. And Tempest Typhoon, they're a little, they're up by one game in their series. They want to make sure that they continue that trend and not fall down to 2-2. So a lot on the line here for both of these teams as we load into Paul now. I'm excited to see which map we are going to get Sanctum. So this is fascinating. This is very fascinating.
Yeah, this will
Um,
be a precedent setter for sure.
yeah. This is this is gonna let us know. Like how far is Frost Nova willing to bend their composition to make Pharah work? And if there's a place that Tempest Typhoon can really shut that down, it's going to be here on Sanctum. So if they take a map loss here on this, or well, if they take a sub map loss here on Sanctum, that's going to not bode very well for the next map.
No, absolutely. If there's anywhere to shine now, this is the moment.
Getting a quick peek into what both these teams are thinking, and yeah, I like this. I like this coming out from both sides. Frost Nova, they are committed to the Pharah. They're going to play around that pick as well, right? This entire composition is reflective of that. Whereas we've got the double shield on the side of Tempest Typhoon. That's going to be really difficult now to deal, or that's going to make it difficult for Pharah to get shots that mean anything. They're going to have to chunk down these shields before they can do anything.
We've got the early hack from Sombra on the health pack over there, trying to keep the team nice and sustained. Torbjorn's turret out here. Early pick, though, from Pharah onto the Torbjorn. That's a little difficult now. They're going to have to probably back out here, but the ball is capitalizing on it, looking to try to disrupt as much as humanly possible.
That they are. Excellent engagement coming out to win that fight very early from Frost Nova. Now that they've got point control, they're just going to look to try and delay this Tempest Typhoon team from getting to point and even having a chance to contest it. They're going to be successful in that, and now we're going to be watching for Frost Nova to surround this Tempest Typhoon squad.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to try to look for some kind of setup here. You see that they're coming in from the backside here. I see Sombra's ready to go for the hack. They're trying to get the Pharah out of the sky by any means necessary, and the ball is engaging on them now. Let's see if they get anything out of it. Another pick right there on the Cassidy, forgive me. And I think that once again, we're going to have to watch them stabilize here against this Pharah.
Yeah, that we are. Xeno proving to be too much for them to handle despite these double shields. Florida going in for an engagement now, and there's the barrage coming in from Xeno. It's going to be negated by the immortality field, and they somehow make it out with their lives. Xeno just with a sliver of health. They're going to be able to eventually get Panda Bear down. There's no main tank on the board for either team, but Frost Nova still firmly in control of the point.
I have to say that canceled EMP, though, was really, really big for Red Team here. I mean, I could tell that they could have gotten the wipe there easily, but now they've got to try to adapt to this. We've got a window coming out from the side of Red, seeing what they can do. They're huddling in there. I mean, this Pharah is just oppressive. But the Noon takes out both the Pharah and the Mercy, which gives the opening that has been needed. Zai with that high Noon.
That it certainly does. Tempest Typhoon now primed to take this point. They've already flipped it in their favor. They just have to take care of these staggers.
For sure, for sure. I have to say, I really do love the discipline when it comes to ult usage there. They made sure that they were waiting until just the right moment to engage themselves on it. It's easy for a team, especially at this level, to want to over-ult in situations that feel dire. So, good discipline on their part.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, they've still got the barrage in tow. They're going to have this self-destruct, and that's going to be very useful for them. But Korea is going to have this Molten Core as well. That with the Gravitic Flux, that could be a nasty combo. I'm going to be curious to see if they engage with that. Yikes, looking for an opportunity to use it. Here it comes. They're going to get both the Diva. Here comes the barrage, but it's going to be picked out of the sky. Yeah, coming in for a couple nice kills.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, again, I told you about that discipline there. Yikes really carried quite a bit for that fight there. I think he's resetting himself now. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but that's fine. But I think that, you know, once again, we're maximizing the usage of the ults here. And you see they've got this little hunked up corner here. They want to make sure that that ball doesn't have too many angles to come in on the mat. If they stay together, they're a lot safer.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Florida is certainly going to be looking for a prime angle. They have the self-destruct ready to go, but that's really only going to be useful for clearing space. Already, Thor is out of the fight. She's not going to be able to get that EMP up and ready to go, and that was a potential win condition for this Frost Nova squad. Deadeye going to be committed by Zai to zone everyone away. No skull and crossbones there. Just has a misstep and goes off the map. That is unlucky. Sorry we caught that on screen, buddy. Yeah. Hack is going to come in. Nano boost applied to Xeno. They're going to be able to chunk down that shield and deal in some deadly damage to Yikes. And that is exactly what I would be saying at this moment if I were Tempest Typhoon, especially after that barrage.
Absolutely, and I do have to say that Nova did a really good job at pacing themselves that fight. It would have been easy to have walked into that Noon or walked into that bomb, and they took their time to hide around their corners, wait for things to fall out, and then collapse on them with the Pharah's spam damage.
Yeah, that was an excellent play coming out from them, and now with Frost Nova in control of the point, they're going to be able to stage and make it very difficult for this Tempest Typhoon team to move in. Sai spots out Florida, though, that gives them an opportunity to begin to set up, but Thor is looking for the EMP. They know they're back there somewhere. They're throwing through a lot of span damage. Thor has been identified now. They are not invisible anymore. Dr. Brennan, now she's looking for an opportunity to get a lot of damage through this window. 99% on the board now for both squads. Saki, they've popped the Valkyrie to keep their team alive. Here comes the self-destruct from Ricky. Not going to find anybody, but the remake takes down the Immortality Field, and at the end of the day, it's gonna be Frost Nova, the underdogs in this fight, coming away with the map win on Sanctum.
And 99-99 though, impressive on both teams' parts for sure. I do think one of the biggest things that that worked against Tempest Typhoon here is they were forced to take those huddled positions around corners and in little cubbies and such, and that just made them prime damage to take all of those fire rockets to the face.
Yeah, you're certainly right. That was definitely the case. Now, it's not going to be quite the same here as we're moving on to Village, so yeah, not surprised to see a wholesale swap coming out from Frost Nova and Spawn.
Absolutely. I think I'm going to get my wish come true here. We're going to see some Brawl v Brawl. I do enjoy seeing my Brawl comps. I am a Rhine player myself, so I'm a little biased. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to see how can they keep control at that point. I see the Symmetra that we've got on both sides. It really comes down to who can get set up there first.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I'm going to be curious to see, though, if Xeno swaps after... no, they're going to be going over to the Symmetra, so we're going to be seeing a little bit of flex coming out from them. I'll be curious to see how well they're going to match up against Zai. Early Maywall comes out to try and separate Florida from the rest of Frost Nova, but it's not going to be successful. Zai looking to get a little bit of charge on that beam. Now Frost Nova going to be the second to this fight, as it were. So Tempest Typhoon already set up on point. Very advantageous position. Panda Bear going to be able to take Thor out of the fight with, like you said, a beautifully placed wall there from Freya. But now, speaking of Freya, they've gone down dangerously low. Amplification Matrix now committed by Boone. And that's going to be absolutely deadly for Florida. That Mayball is, as Zai just continues to mow through Frost Nova.
I do have to say, though, Frost Nova made the right move there. As soon as they saw that their May was down, they had no choice but to full commit with all aggression that they possibly can, hoping they could swing the fight with a little bit of aggression. But unfortunately, getting that set up on the point first, it looks like they weren't able to get that with Tempest Typhoon.
No, Tempest Typhoon was certainly bunkered up there very, very well. And yeah, that was absolutely what led to some of that fight. When that and the excellent Maywalls coming out from Freya. Going to see a high ground approach coming in from Frost Nova. That's going to allow them to not take any of this, not charge up Zai at this point. Going to see the Photon Barrier committed early on. Frost Nova's going to rotate around to the other side, so they've got a little bit more of an opportunity to get more damage in. Turret's going to be taken out. That's going to clear a lot of room for them to move in, but the Maywall is there, and Yikes comes in with a Fire Strike. Now they've got the Shatter. They're going to be looking for this, and there's not really too much to speak of yet for this Frost Nova squad. Shatter goes in, doesn't find anybody. The Blizzard, though, from the freeze coming out from Thor was massive. They might want to consider the Blizzard at the moment, but no, the Sound Barrier is going to allow Tempest Typhoon to wipe away the rest of Frost Nova.
Yeah, I have to say one thing that I'm really loving from both teams right now is there's some very well-placed May walls. I saw that we tried the little combo there with that Shatter, putting the May wall up and then dropping it immediately for the Shatter afterwards. So you can see that both Thor and Kreia are doing a great job at trying to zone and trap people with those walls.
Yeah, they certainly are. And Mayball is one of the most impactful things in these Brawl compositions, and it's great to see that both May players have a great understanding of that. Nice teleport to the high ground again. They're still pushing with this Symmetra, which you don't usually see. Both Amplification Matrices committed almost immediately. Now it's up to which of these old combinations is going to get the better of the situation. Florida's out of the fight, so despite the Blizzard coming out, which is a little bit stronger, arguably, the fight swinging the way of Tempest Typhoon. Their Brawl seems to be a little bit too much for Frost Nova to handle.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see that kind of aggression come out. Whichever team can really push themselves into the wall and hit those ults first is usually going to come out on top. And when we see the aggressive Maywall, had a nice little victory share there at the end there. But when you see like the Symmetra walls are being used well, the May ults are being used well, it's whichever team can do it first. You got to hit Q first. It's such an important thing in this game.
Yeah, it really is. And Tempest Typhoon definitely had the momentum, or rather had the tempo in their favor there. Now, we're gonna just get to really see what these two teams can do against each other, right? In more of an ideal situation for each one of them. The six man gonna come out from Tempest Typhoon.
And I do see we have Frost Nova once again is pulling out the Pharah there. I mean, when you have a player that's good at the hero, make sure that you enable them in every way that you can. I mean, that's the strength and the core of your team can be sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to be interesting, right? How are these two compositions really going to affect each other? I'm looking at Xeno to actually get a lot of value.
Yeah, absolutely, and I also think that with Bonk on the Ana there, it's going to be a prime target for both Yikes and Bandabear to really get on top of him and give him a hard time.
Early pick onto Florida though is going to slow things down tremendously for Frost Nova. They're going to likely want to back out here and wait for Florida to come back in. Oh, a big hack comes out as well. Book out of the fight. That's just terrible for this Frost Nova squad. They're investing too much into this. They need to regroup.
Yeah, losing the ball early there, you said it. It's a difficult thing to come back from. He's your initiator. He's the one that's doing the displacement, setting you up for your plays. And then you saw immediately that Tempest Typhoon was taking their aggression to the top. I saw the Reaper teleport up, the Sombra teleport up. They were looking to try to get those stragglers, and they did end up getting the Ana.
Yeah, but the interesting thing about this already is that Xeno has their Barrage online. It is already finding value. Yikes is out of the fight. Freya is going to be hacked on their side, though. They're going to have to try and keep them up because that's a key initiator as well. Zai goes down to Xeno. And with that, Frost Nova has turned the tables on Tempest Typhoon.
I'm telling you right now, you've got to be very careful with Z when it comes to that barrage. You know, it comes out at any moment, mid-fight, start a fight, you never know. As soon as it comes online, you better get out of the way. You've got no choice but to avoid that at all costs.
Yeah, but look at this stagger now coming out from Tempest Typhoon. They're still alive. In fact, they get a counter pick on Dothori. The fight is still going to go the way of Frost Nova, but look at this. This should all be Frost Nova's percentage right now. They need to. We need to see a little bit more focus power coming out from them just in the cleanup phase.
As I say, that stall from Tempest Typhoon was pretty amazing there. I mean, they got, what, an extra 10, 15, 20% off of that? Just by, really committing themselves to the point with the Reaper there. So I'd like to see the regroup here, and I'd like to see if they can play a little bit more onto those healers, especially getting that Mercy off of the Pharah is such a crucial thing to do right now.
It certainly is, and I'm going to be looking for Kreia to be the person who does that, especially as they're going to have this EMP coming up. It's really going to be down to who strikes first here, I think, in terms of how this fight is going to go. Hack early on to Book, but the Nano Boost has already been committed and the barrage is unleashed. EMP as well catches out 5 of Tempest Typhoon. They win the fight, but they're able to come away with several of their lives. Oh no, the minefield. It's divided them, and Xeno was able to just pick them off one by one.
I have to say, the synergy I'm seeing today between Florida and Z is just amazing. I mean, you could tell that they've run a lot of this ball Pharah together. They used to, okay, I'm going to get them forward for you. Just go ahead and chunk into them as much as you can. It's a really good synergy. I love seeing main tank and DPS synergies.
Absolutely, but now we're in a situation where there's 6 ultimates on the side of Tempest Typhoon. We're going to see an early sound barrier to try and put a lot of aggressive power into this push. They're rewarded with a pick onto Boone. Definitely the target you want to go for in that situation, is they're going to be the least mobile and most susceptible. Now it's just a matter of cleaning up the rest. But Xeno coming in with a counter pick. Zai forced use the Blossom. Oh, but the res, Saki, I don't think that was well advised. The pick comes out, or the res is successful, but they're both going to go down. And that's just more ult charge now for Tempest Typhoon.
Yeah, I think maybe the plan there was to get a little bit more of a stall, swing it a little bit more towards that 99, but unfortunately, when you're in full swing like that with your Monkey Diva, it's really hard to keep anything out of that.
It certainly is. Man, this is going to be a very difficult retake now coming in for Frost Nova. Dr. Brennan, she's got the Coalescence, and that is such a strong initiator, so as soon as they find a target with that, they can utilize it. But we've got an early engagement coming in from Florida. They're able to get Kreia out of the fight, and with that, a nasty anti-nade from Boone. Gonna be rewarded with a little bit of advantage here for Frost Nova. The res is gonna come in. That's gonna make it even more that way. EMP lands as well. And with just about 99% on the board, the point flips back over for Frost.
I have to say, I mean, I was really hoping we would see a lot of neck and neck action in this, but we're getting it right here. It's 1-1, practically 99-99. I think the rest of the game is going to go very much like this.
I think so too, but Frost Nova's gonna be in the driver's seat because this is gonna be a staggered engagement coming out from Tempest Typhoon, and already Zai is out of the fight, the fastest player to get there, taken out first. Yikes is going down very low as a hack has hit them as well, and Frost Nova firmly in control of this situation. The remake coming in takes out Don Super. This is Frost Nova's to lose right here. 6-man EMP from Freya, but it's gonna be too little, too late, and Frost Nova goes up 1-0 with a win on Nepal.
Oh, I have to say, I feel you, Monkey. I feel you on every count there. I saw him at low health. He was trying to kite out back up. Oh, I can get my Primal online. I can get it. And just as it's time for Primal, unfortunately, you get picked. It happens to me all the time. I totally understand.
Yeah, that is absolutely a rough place to be. You know, it was interesting. We talked before about, you know, what was going to be Tempest Typhoon's answer to Xeno, right? And the strategy they appeared to opt for was the ignore them, take them out last strategy. But Xeno, I think, proved to be too much of a thorn in their side, and so now I'm gonna be curious to see, you know, how are they going to counter Xeno with a map pick, but also with how they're gonna play. Are they going to start, you know, putting more pressure on Xeno in the sky to, you know, through some of these long range DPS? It's yeah, I'm gonna be very curious to see what the response is here.
I do have to say though, especially on that very first part of Nepal, we saw Zai out with the Cassidy. He was giving a hard time to the Far Mercy. So I would like to see
Yeah,
more hit scan from him tonight. I think that he could definitely keep them on their toes at the very least, if not completely shut them down. I'm very impressed to see that.
yeah, that's an excellent point. We're gonna be going to Route 66 next, and I feel like this is an interesting choice from Tempest Typhoon. You know, it doesn't scream to me no Farah, right? What it does say to me instead is that um, they're looking to play to their own strengths, right? They've got some kind of
Mhm.
strategy here on Route 66 that they're looking to execute.
Yeah, I would certainly say so. Again, we are going to. I'm willing to bet some money on it. We're going to see the far on this map because Route
Oh
66 is
yeah,
such a great wide open space for her. But I hope maybe we get a Mercy pocketed Ash. Maybe we get a little bit of Widowmaker action. I want to see Zai kind of try to take those 1v1 duels, or I should say 1v2 with the Mercy on this Pharah.
yeah. I think that would be a really good response coming out from Tempest Typhoon here, and we'll be able to see, you know, shortly what their response is going to be. But you know, wondering, you know, what is their core going to look like here? You know, because when I think of Route 66, especially on defense, my mind goes actually to double shield more often than to brawl. But Tempest Typhoon definitely favors the brawl composition. Do you think we're going to see a more of a response to the map or a doubling down on what they're comfortable with?
I think we're going to start off with that double shield. I think that it's just so great to be able to play those different positions, to take those different angles, and kind of oppressively hold that cart down on lockdown. So I'd like to see that personally. But if we do get the comfort pick, we know that they're going to perform well. We know that they're going to look for that aggression as we've seen before, and they're going to collapse pretty well on the other team.
Yeah, that they are. It'll be interesting to see, you know, what kind of composition they're going to be able to collapse on. Though, I'm anticipating we see the wrecking ball come out again. I mean, it's what worked for them on Nepal, and they've been very strong on it. So that's really only going to leave a couple of targets to collapse on, most notably the Anna if they decide to run it again. Right now, another option that they have is to go to something like a brig, potentially, or even a brig zen, as a matter of fact, right? You know, you don't necessarily have to have the mercy pocketing the far in the sky. You could pocket them with an orb as well. It's a little bit riskier, but it would give the backline a little more protection. Be a very aggressive look though coming out from Frost Nova.
Yeah, and it's true. If we are going to go with, as you said earlier, the ignore Pharah strategy, you want to go after that Ana first. You want to go for the other healer
Right.
first, because the second that they're down, the rest of the team has no chance. They're going to fall. So I think that they need to play quick. They need to play aggressively. They need to be in that back line as much as possible. I hope to see it.
Yeah, as do I. Looks like we are loading into the game now, so in just about 30 seconds, we're going to be able to see what these teams are thinking about today. We're going to have Frost Nova on the defense first, so I think this is, it's interesting. It's going to be an opportunity to see, you know, what 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 kind of a composition they may feel most comfortable with on defense. The ball composition, absolutely runnable here. I mean, you know me, I'm a wrecking ball main. I absolutely love to see it and to
For sure.
use it as well. And yeah, that is in fact what we're going to see coming out from here. They're not going to stray too much from what worked in the past. We do have a little long range hit scan coming out as well.
I'm liking that. I like the Pharah v Pharah here. We're going to see who can go toe to toe with that.
Yeah, this is interesting. So, gonna be a dive composition, but with a Pharah coming out from Tempest Typhoon. At least that's what they're thinking about in spawn. You know, they've got several more seconds to decide if that's exactly what they're gonna do. But yeah, Korea now gonna make life a lot harder for Xeno in the sky if they're on the mark, right? I mean, if they, you know, if it's too much of a difference, you know, then Korea is just gonna be fodder for Xeno. They're really gonna have to.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was going to say, not to mention, they could be anticipating that double shield, which is the reason why Kreia is going on to Pharah here to look to scoop him out one of the sides to take him down. I mean, they do see the Sigma there, looking for the early picks. Got to be really careful around that Ashe there, and it looks like they're taken down there right quickly. The double team from the DPS is there.
Yeah, Xeno asserting dominance in the sky early on. That's gonna certainly cause a lot of problems, I think, for Tempest Typhoon. They're going to have to really be aware of... Kreia's going to have to really be aware of their own positioning here. Sleep comes out onto Florida. They're going to have to pop their adaptive shields. Barely going to escape. Never mind. Zai there with the follow-up to take them out. Fantastic play coming out from that Tracer player. Going to be an early advantage now for Tempest Typhoon, but the res does come in onto Florida. In the meantime, though, Thor goes down, and without your main heals, this is just going to collapse in favor of Tempest Typhoon. Frost Nova needs to back out and reset fast.
Exactly. It's really hard for Mercy to have to split between that Pharah and the team when the other healer goes down, so you can see they capitalized it on quite well.
Yeah, but look at this. Frost Nova has come back and taken both supports of Tempest Typhoon out of the fight, so the car is going to be slowed down considerably, and Frost Nova has an opportunity to regroup and really make a strong showing here on defense again.
Absolutely. It's going to come down to which team can stabilize the quickest, who's getting the picks here. We do have the Primal Rage coming out from Winston here. Gets the pick on Bunk in the back there. Looking for the Mercy, trying to deny the res there. But meanwhile, Zai is doing Tracer things, poking in that back, looking for a little bit of poke damage on the tanks in the back line there. And once again, it's like I said, we got the Mercy down. That is fantastic. This is going to look really good for Tempest Typhoon at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly is. But Zai is out of the fight. They had that pulse bomb, which could really swing things. Florida has dropped the mines on the point, and that's going to briefly zone out the rest of Tempest Typhoon. I think Frost Nova might actually come away with a little bit of an advantage here, although Kreia's tried to make that not the case. As is Don Super, they were able to catch Florida out, so now cart back fully under control of Tempest Typhoon. They've got the barrage. Kreia's going to loose it. It's going to be eaten considerably by Ricky, but there's going to be D-Max. Thor goes down as well. Saki pops the Valkyrie in response, trying to hold on for dear life as long as they can, but this Tempest Typhoon is exactly that. There is a slight chance they can come away with it, but no, Yikes is gonna pick Pharah out of the air. Beautiful Winston play coming out, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be a hold for Frost Nova.
I have to say, one of the things I'm loving right now with Tempest Typhoon is I see a lot of adaptability in their gameplay right now. You know, we came into this thinking, okay, we're going to see some 6-man, we're going to see some Brawl here, they'll do a little bit of that, and they have just brought out this dive Pharah composition that they've decided to do instead. Clearly, they've been studying and doing their homework on this.
Yeah, that they have, and we have an early advantage now going over once again to Tempest Typhoon. Xeno is going to be rezzed, so that is a huge boon for Frost Nova. Amplification Matrix committed now. Yaks tried to primal Thor into oblivion. They are successful as they were able to get them out of that immortality field. Now, Barrage going to be committed by Xeno. It's not going to find any kills at the moment. Self-destruct committed as well. That's going to take out a couple. And once again, Frost Nova holds. Now, there's just 30 seconds left to go for Tempest Typhoon. This is not a good place for them to be.
It's amazing because I see those aggressive picks, I see those early hits that Tempest Typhoon is doing, but the mid fight seems to really be swinging in Frost Nova's favor here. You know,
Yeah.
they get that recontest, they get the wrecking ball back in there. He's on the cart. Diva's being on, on top of their tanks and keeping them busy. I'm really amazed to see just how much Frost Nova can run themselves back into it.
Yeah, as am I. And speaking of running back into her, we're about to see a Bob run to point as well from Boone. That's going to be a huge force here. Got to be committed early as the point is just now being contested. Minefield as well to zone people away. Yikes, shield is down, so now this damage coming in from Frost Nova has nowhere to go except into targets. Zai looking for an opportunity in the backline from Tempest Typhoon, but it's not going to be there. Frost Nova has this point under their thumb firmly, and with overtime ticking over, that's going to be a first point hold for Frost.
Really amazing defense there. I have to say, Frost Nova, they had that discipline. Again, once again, they were using their ults very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Carefully is what they were going for. You know, they didn't want to overcommit anything. And I think, like I said, that mid fight really swung in their favor every time, even though there was great initiations on the part of Tempest Typhoon.
Yeah, they didn't panic, right? When they were down, they kept their heads cool. They stayed in the fight. They relied on each other, and they were able to find these opportunities that Tempest Typhoon presented themselves with to flip it the other way. Now, Tempest Typhoon has a very tough job ahead of them.
Absolutely. Although I will say, from what I'm seeing from both teams tonight, we may see a first point really drawn out here. I do see Tempest Typhoon is running out of the brawl. They've decided they're going to go ahead and hold that now on defense. It'll be interesting. They're going to have to kind of play gas station a little bit, I'd assume. You know, kind of take their ways, take little angles and pokes. They're looking for a close hold possibly as well.
Yeah, they very well could be, and that might be the key to success here because if they do this close hold, they may be able to squeeze 2.5 fights out of this, right? Maybe even 3 if they're lucky, if they're able to really stall out the point from moving. But this composition coming out from Frost Nova, I think, is really ready to pick apart this brawl. There's going to be so many angles that they're going to have to keep track of, and only one shield that only faces one direction.
Absolutely. It will be tough, but again, I've seen a lot come out of Tempest Typhoon. Maybe they'll be able to pull it out.
We're about to find out. We're going to see a little bit of a swap coming out. Boone going over to the Bastion just to try and dissuade this spawn holder right here. I like this. However, Zai's going to get an early pick on the Thor. They find themselves in a little too vulnerable of a position. Rez is going to come out, though, so Tempest Typhoon have to be kicking themselves a little bit for letting that happen, as Thor immediately gets a nice nade onto Yikes, forcing them to back up. Now the freeze coming into onto Boone. That's going to be a big kill, but in the meantime, Florida's wreaking havoc. Your support line is gone. Yeah, you got the Bastion Tempest Typhoon, but you don't have any heals, and with that, Frost Nova has taken the first step on their way to taking map number 2.
You're absolutely right, Juggle. You did say that it's going to be hard to keep track of all those angles, and that's exactly what we saw there. Florida took advantage of that backline and was able to take out those healers quite early. Also, I do have to say a special shout out, that power move on the Bastion, I definitely respect it. You see them holding close to the brawl, you say, I'm just going to shred them down now.
Yeah, feel like you want to get up close and personal? Fine by me. Let's go. Now we've got the brawl composition in a bad position because already the barrage is coming out, but the kill is there. The res is going to be successful, but in the meantime, Zai pops the Deadeye and takes out your DPS and Saki. They're going to both get sent back to spawn, and Brawl is going to be able to win the day here on the back of just some phenomenal plays coming out from Zai.
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm seeing quite the DPS matchup here. We knew going into this that Zeno would have that Pharah, but Zai's Cassidy is just sharp tonight. I really love seeing him take it.
Yeah, as do I. This is, they're showing their adaptability here. Then they haven't had to do much to adapt, right? A Brawl with a Cassidy, that's standard, right? And it's definitely causing some problems for Zeno. Boone gonna try and clear a little bit of space here and take an off angle to give Zeno an opportunity to come in off of this pile driver. We see the engagement coming in. Thor is able to deliver the nano boost, and now these rockets are going to be working overtime. Amplification matrix now, but look at this. Yikes is out of position, but the shatter lands the sound barriers there inside. Just cleans up the rest.
Zai. Amazing, truly. Yeah, getting pushed out like that on the Reinhardt was definitely a risky thing, but like I said, we've got that carry potential from Zai right now. He's able to take out that team while the Pharah is off of him for a little bit.
That was a little bit of a misplay there from Zai. I understand the adrenaline is pumping right there. You have just gotten a 5K, I believe, maybe even a 6. But yeah, I think they're gonna wish they had that Deadeye because Deadeye's not useful for much, but it is useful for zoning afar out of the sky.
I will say I give style points to him though, absolutely.
Yeah, that is fair. Xeno has this barrage online, so I'm looking for this to get enabled by a big pile driver coming in from Florida. They're getting a position. They've successfully started surrounding this brawl composition, but they're not giving them too many opportunities to get in, as they're just hiding underneath big Earls at the moment. Florida gonna have to look for somebody out of position. They almost catch Zai out. Xeno trying to get a little bit more damage in here. Just about 30 seconds left to go, and I can't believe it, but Tempest Typhoon has now put Frost Nova in a very bad position, especially now. Oh, Kreia eats a nade. That's huge for Frost Nova. The barrage comes in. It's going to be a D-Mech on the Panda Bear. Panda Bear's going to go for the self-destructing cactus, too. That's huge. This could swing it back in favor of Tempest Typhoon. Despite these heroics coming out from Xeno, it's not going to be enough because Tempest Typhoon, they're going to be able to hold harder on first point of Route 66. And we've got a tie game at 1-1.
That is amazing. We saw them pull out the brawl. There was a couple of questions with it, but like we were thinking, they played those little close areas. They played under the cover of the gas station, some of the nearby caves, and they were very disciplined doing so. And like I said, Zai, I try not to play favorites here, but I'm really liking what Zai is doing tonight.
Zai was the reason that Tempest Typhoon won this map. Now, the entire team enabled him, right? But he was the key to the puzzle, right? Or the key to the lock. Puzzles
Absolutely.
Don't have keys. That made no sense.
Key to the puzzle. I like
it. But whatever comparison you want to make, it was Zai that really was the linchpin, shall we say, for this Tempest Typhoon win here. And now, what is Frost Nova going to do in response to this, right? How do they now re-enable Xeno? How do they clear out this newfound threat in Zai?
It's going to be a tough one. I think, honestly, I'm going to call it now. We're going to a map 5 tonight. They've constantly, 99-99 holding them at first point. So they've got plenty of time to figure it out for themselves.
That they do, but we're going to throw it to a very short break so that not only they can ponder it, but you and I and the rest of the viewers can as well. So stick around. We're going to be right back. Frost Nova showing some early signs of success here against Tempest Typhoon, just to be held harder on first point on Route 66. We've got a great match ahead of us. Welcome back to the stream. And what do you think we're going to see coming out from Frost Nova in terms of a map pick now that we are headed to hybrid?
Well, I've just heard that we're heading to Numbani, so I do expect to see our dear friend Farah once again. Gonna have to be very careful with those sight lines, though. It's gonna be a little tough when it comes to that hit scan. Their Zai, he's been really sharp with them. One thing I would like to go ahead and take a second to say is, even though our hit scans are, I'm sorry, our DPS are popping off as well as they are tonight, they are very much enabled by their team. You're seeing the tanks make space. You're seeing the healers play smart with their DPS and such. Both teams are looking really well oiled tonight, and that's my favorite kind of Overwatch right there.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. I've been so impressed so far with this Frost Nova team. I mean, the fact that they've got an 0-3 record, I think belies just how strong this team is, and they're really showing us that tonight. They've
Mm-hmm.
got a firm grasp of how to play this wrecking ball disruption composition, right? And playing around Xeno. And it's taken quite the effort for Tempest Typhoon to come up with an answer for it. And now that they found it, though, what's going to happen next, right? What's going to be the counterplay that comes out from Frost Nova, right?
Absolutely, you got to
We're
see. You got
playing
to
this
see
like 3D chess, right?
exactly.
See, it's the suit. That's it all comes back.
Absolutely. Yeah, it comes back to that, the big brain moves here. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's going to be the adaptability game here. Who can adapt to the other team's success quicker? And I've seen so far, I've seen both teams do a pretty good job at adapting. I would like to see Frost Nova's answer now to Zai's hit scan. They're gonna have something really sneaky up their sleeve to get that.
Yeah, I think what it's going to come down to is it's going to come down to either the tanks disrupting Zai, right? Get Florida to
Mhm.
just focus them instead, right? Because that's like, Florida is not going to be they're not going to be the person getting the final picks, getting the kills,
Mhm.
right? They need to
Nope.
enable the
Exactly.
person on their team, Xeno, to get those picks. So I think what we need to see is either Florida really start to focus Zai or um, Thor to focus them. Maybe even both of them, right? Just make Zai now the primary target of the dive, and then that just opens up Xeno to do what they need to do.
Exactly. You're absolutely right about that. And I've so far, like I said, I've commented on how Florida and Zeno are having a great synergy. I would like to see Florida and Thor show some of their synergy off as well. It'll be nice to see.
Yeah, that's such a good point, and it's that'll I think really be the differing factor here tonight, right? We've now seen both of these teams. We've seen these teams counter. They've countered back. Now, how does the next counter happen, right? Who reaches the end of the rope first, right? And I think we're nearing it, right? I think this is the point in this game where it's going to go one way or the other. I think we're headed to a 3-1 scoreline because either
Hmm.
Frost Nova adapts or they don't.
Absolutely. I mean, the defense has been strong for both teams. So far, we're seeing out here we've got a little bit of the Orisa comp happening over on one side with blue. Florida is locking the ball again, along with the Diva with that. I do see a sim. Are we just doing a telly out of spawn? Or are we playing? Oh, we've got a complete comp swap there. Now we got the Hog Rhine with Sim Bastion. Okay, they're really looking to hunker down hard in this point.
Yeah, I don't think any of this is to be believed for a moment.
I would hope not. It's very
Yeah,
creative, if not. They are being
yeah.
hard.
No, we're seeing them go back to something much more expected of them, and the pick onto the Sombra, I don't feel like that necessarily counters Zai. So I think that this is a case of Frost Nova just thinking that they can do what they do better than what Tempest Typhoon can do. So I think they're just gonna look to more like brute force the issue here. And
I mean,
Anti-Nade comes in now immediately from Boone. That's gonna have force Tempest Typhoon to back off and allow this Frost Nova squad to really start surrounding them. We see Xeno taking an off angle from the back here. Damage boost coming in courtesy of Saki. And now Tempest Typhoon has started to kind of like split their composition between the high and low ground. Haven't really decided who they need to focus. They pick Saki out of the sky. That's a huge boon for this defense. This push might be over for Tempest, or sorry, for Frost Nova.
I would say so. I mean, I do see Frost Nova. They're looking to take these angles, but Tempest Typhoon is so good at huddling themselves where they need to be to get all those sightlines just completely eliminated. You can see Florida here is trying to figure out how do I go in on this right now, and I'd like to see that answer happen.
As would I. Nano Boost going to be immediately delivered to Xeno. Florida takes Zai out of the picture. That's all that it's going to take. Frost Nova has this in their palm of their hand. They just have to execute these last few members of Tempest Typhoon.
That boost that we did there, the boost nano, was really impressive there. They were like, you know what? We're going to use this angle and we're going to force you guys to deal with it now. And it definitely worked for them.
Yeah, it certainly did. It cost them everything they had, though, at least at the moment, but it was well worth it because they have a tremendous time bank now moving into the street space of Numbani, and if you're going to be weak at some point, it might as well be street space because the advantage is yours, for sure, just based on the map geometry and the fact that you get to set up so early.
I think also with the streets phase, the bunker that we've been seeing a lot of from Tempest Typhoon is going to be quite hard to hold here. Like, you have that high ground there, but who's going for cart? What do you do for cart at that point? You playing the reset down on the ground there? I see that Zai is looking to try to get the Far Mercy out of the sky on the side, but you can tell they're just so split to figure out where they need to aim first.
Yeah, and they're going to have to deal with this EMP coming in from Thor very soon. Hopefully they're going to wait until the mines or Nano is online, possibly both. Deadeye going to be committed by Zai. That's going to zone away several members. The support line is down. That's going to put an end to this push completely.
That Orisa halt, game winning there. That was amazing. Gotta love that combo there. I just got done talking about how I love my tank DPS synergies there. That was really great on both Zai and Yikes' part.
It absolutely was, but you know, it can't be looked at as a loss completely for Frost Nova because what they were able to do was bleed out an ultimate or two from Tempest Typhoon and build their own set. Look, they're coming into this next fight with 5. Absolutely. This is going to be absolutely tremendous. Early amplification matrix committed by Dr. Brennan to slow down this squad, but all that's going to do is give Xeno time to build up their barrage as well. Thor looking for an opportunity. EMP here it comes to catch us out. 5 members of Tempest Typhoon. Self-destruct thrown in to allow them a little bit of space to try and survive. They do just that, but only for a moment, as Panda Bear is actually able to take out Florida. That is a piece of the equation now for Frost Nova. Tempest Typhoon may in fact have just held.
Yeah, they did have to invest quite a lot of ult economy there. They used their window, they used their bongo. You know, it was one of those things where if we don't do this now, they're about to tear us apart. So I have to say that it's good to put it in there, but I am curious to see what we get this next fight. Zai is coming up on another high noon. We do have the rally, and then shortly behind that is going to be both our Molten Core and our window once more. Brendan getting tons of healing on her team right here.
Yeah, I have to say, I think Tempest Typhoon is actually doing a better job of rotating their ultimates right now. That was an overcommit from Frost Nova with no results. So now they're just left with this rocket barrage. Do they hold it, or do they maybe wait and play this out a little bit long to build up the nano boost? In the meantime, that's just going to allow Tempest Typhoon to get all of theirs online. Rally was just committed. Now we're going to likely see Dr. Brennan pop her ultimate as well. Xeno still trying to find some kind of an opportunity to maybe loose this barrage. Boone does about have their nano, so if there's a time for them to strike in this fight, it is now. But Zai has taken Saki out of the equation once again. There is a counter prick. Dr. Brennan is down, so there's a question that needs to be answered, and that is, do we go or do we fall back? And they're going to be forced, in fact, to fall back as Tempest Typhoon takes this fight.
So what's the answer here, Juggle? I mean, you've got a great discipline from Tempest Typhoon holding these bunkered positions and kind of holding themselves together. What do we need to see on the part of Frost Nova to really overcome this?
I think what we need to see is just a little bit better ult rotation coming out from them. And they're starting to build up another set right here. They can come away with a fight win, but crucially, they have to take Zai out of the fight early on. That was what gave them the fight win that very first time. And with Zai having a Deadeye, that could be absolutely brutal to Saki and Xeno once again. So that's what I'm looking for, is for Florida to somehow get in, but Zai spots them out, takes them down to about half health. We're going to see the cart down making a little bit of progress. Florida's going to go in. About half health, though. They're going to be taken out immediately. Barrage committed regardless. It's going to be eaten up largely by Panda Bear. Deadeye committed now, and through the window as well. going to be very deadly. 30 seconds left to go, and Frost Nova, they are falling apart now.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that idea of adaptability, and I think Frost Nova, I mean, they're definitely pouring themselves into this, but the question is, what do they need? Ooh,
Whoa.
huge bomb from Panda with the retreat there. That's just
Whoa.
a nail in the coffin for that part of the map right there. They may have the recontest here with Florida coming in, but it's going to be really difficult to have any stabilization on it. But yeah, I mean, like, this is solid defense work right now on the side of Tempest Typhoon.
Yeah, and Florida timed that a little bit poorly. They go in right at the wrong time. EMP does come in. It's a 6-man EMP. There is an opportunity here, but there's got to be a lot committed into this fight from Frost Nova, but Zai is still holding them back. Freya with the Molten Core as well as the EMP falls on nothing. Tempest Typhoon is going to hold in the streets of New Bonnie.
Wow, really amazing. I'm just at a loss for words over most of it. I mean, you're right. The ult cycling was key there. They really got into their groove. They were able to switch things around depending on what was coming at them and what angle it was happening, and it paid off well.
Yeah, Frost Nova, they just lost their coordination in Streets phase. You know, it was a beautiful, and they lost their coordination in Streets phase, and they forgot to focus Zai. They forgot to neutralize him. You know, I saw Florida trying it, but it can't be all on Florida, right?
Yes.
You have to have a coordinated assault onto this hit-scan character. So once again, Zai is proving to be the thorn in the side that Frost Nova just can't pluck out.
And I will say to the team's credit that Zai is really being kind of hunkered in the middle of them. They're very clearly pouring every cooldown that they've got to try to keep him nice and safe inside of there because they know they need him. Looks like we're getting a little bit of zombie happening on the part of blue team here. Once again, I'm seeing similar comp with red team. We've got our Pharah is back again. We've got Saki on the Mercy. I'm curious to see how it'll work on defense for them.
Yeah, as am I. They do have Thor on the on Torbjorn, which I really like, but I'm worried for Frost Nova because I think that this 6-man dive composition is going to be pretty powerful here. It is going to take a lot of pressure off Xeno though, right? So if they find them to be too much to deal with, they may have to swap over to a different composition, and that's going to burn out a lot of time for Frost Nova. I think a lot's going to come down to exactly how this first fight goes.
Absolutely. See, they're taking our underway here, trying to get themselves to point as quickly as possible. Thor is looking for a backline, gets a hack on the D.Va there. That is a huge hack. D.Va's a target to really go for. Dr. Brennan goes down with that anti-nade. And it looks like that we've got Frost Nova already taking the fight right here with these picks. Zai does take out Xeno, though, on the Reaper, but we get the res right off of it again.
Yeah, that we do. Xeno's going to come back in and provide value as well, taking Zai out of the fight, and this is exactly what Frost Nova needed to happen. I think now that, yep, look at this. The Tempest Typhoon, they realize they can't go in without Zai on Cassidy. Now Frost Nova's in trouble, right? They do have an ultimate advantage, though, so it's going to be curious to see if they can translate that into another fight win.
I'm seeing once again we're getting this little bit of a prickly comp that they're doing here. The Torbjorn, the Orisa, trying to make sure that they don't let them get on top of them. Don't let the ball in. Don't let the Pharah get a lot of angles on you. And once again, keeping Zai safe. Take care of him, Cradle. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't look like he was safe enough there. Xeno does get the pick on Zai, and that's going to be a little bit of a reset fight for them. It's going to be hard to try to commit with 5v6 in this scenario, especially when your hit scan is down.
Yeah, and to boot, Xeno now has the barrage, right? This is another fight win, right? This should be another Frost Nova win here. This is going exactly how Frost Nova needed it to go, right? They were able to take that first fight win, force the composition swap. That puts them ahead in the ult category. Now they can ride that ult advantage through another fight. That's going to put Tempest Typhoon potentially halfway down on their total time before they have a realistic shot at winning a fight. Frost Nova just has to make sure they execute this EMP barrage perfectly, and they look like they're ready for it, especially now that immortality field is down. Thor getting ready to get set up for it. Nice concussive blast coming out from Xeno. Barrage gonna be loosed anyway. They get one. The trade is good. If Saki can get off the res, but they can't. It's going to be Kriya taking Saki out of the fight. Nanabu's now committed to try and turn this back in favor of Frost Nova. Ricky's able to get a kill early on. Can they translate that into more? Can they just hold on long enough for Flora to get back into the fight? Thor still has the EMP. They can continue to use it. Nice nade thrown in from Boone, and they're doing a phenomenal job of holding Zai with the Deadeye. It's going to be zoned out, almost booped off the map. And that was a golden opportunity for Tempest Typhoon that has fallen away. They are going to get a pick onto Ricky, though, so this is now an opportunity, but Thor's back in the fight. Xeno's back in the fight, and with the EMP incoming now, it's going to be onto all 6 members. Tempest Typhoon is caught without any defenses, but Don Super still coming in clutch, able to take Xeno out of the fight. They may, in fact, turn this around as their abilities are starting to come back and trying. Nice anti-nade coming in from Boone. Is it going to be enough to turn the fight, though? Not in the face of a supercharger from Yikes.
I have to get a huge shout out to Dawn there. That brig play was absolutely crucial to what we were having going on. Started in with the rally that was getting them 2 point and getting them into the position they needed to be in, but just using that whip shot, using that bash to keep them off of you. Like I said, they're doing a great job at saying, you can't get on me, Ball, you can't get on me, Diva, leave us alone, we're going to go take the point.
And now, look at this. Frost Nova is back on the ult economy again, and Tempest Typhoon has a little under 3 minutes to just win 2 fights. Frost Nova is going to need to act decisively here, but Thor is already down. This is a huge boon for Tempest Typhoon. Zai almost has the Deadeye ready. Florida going to go in for an engage, but it might be a little too early. Nice anti-nade coming in from Boone. That's going to push back several members, but Zai's going to pop the Deadeye regardless. Minefield now going to be able to zone out several members, and everybody from Frost Nova hides. As the mines are cleaned away, Tempest Typhoon is going to continue pushing the cart. They're going to get it a little further, especially with a Molten Core that's going to catch out Boone. Just way out of position right there. Saki falls as well, and with that, the support line's gone. And now, Frost Nova, they're going to have to hold very hard. They're going to have to hope and pray that Xeno's able to escape right here long enough to hold on to that barrage and not have to respawn, because this is last fight territory.
I have to say, one of the things that was great with Kreia there is Kreia saw, hey, the support line is unguarded. You guys aren't doing anything with it. Let me just go ahead and come in and take care of your Ana while Zai takes care of your Mercy. Yeah,
and the kills continue to come in favor of Tempest Typhoon. They have found the answer to Xeno, and Frost Nova hasn't come back just yet. Tempest Typhoon goes up 2-1.
Wow, I do have to say, though, my comment from earlier with the defense, it is pretty strong on both parts, but on that map, we saw a lot more of it with Tempest Typhoon than we did with Frost Nova. Frost Nova, once things kind of weren't going their way, you saw a little bit of a panic, both on offense and defense. What are we supposed to do? Where do we go? Where do we set up? And I just have to say, I commend Tempest Typhoon for keeping their cool in any situation there.
Yeah, absolutely. They have shown themselves to be the team that's really adapted, and while the first 2 maps I feel like were very close, this last one was pretty firmly in favor of Tempest Typhoon. Once they won their first fight on that first point of New Bonnie on their attack, it was almost just a done deal, right? We mentioned before, Streets phase, definitely the easiest part of New Bonnie to capture. So as soon as they got that fight win and they got their ult rotation on, it was going to be very, very hard for Frost Nova to hold on, and unfortunately for them, their defense just collapsed.
Yeah, I have to say, trying the 6-man at the beginning there, it was nice, it was creative, but unfortunately, you couldn't really get the positioning you needed. You can't take the fight to the point when they've got a ball, and they've got a Pharah, and they've got all these different angles on you, and because of that fight, they ended up having the ult economy for the rest of it. So, kudos to them for giving it a shot. It is a very strong comp. It's done a lot of success for a lot of people, but in this situation, it just didn't pay off for them.
No, it didn't. And I don't know if it was necessarily a comp difference either, though. I think it's just an execution difference, right? I think they could still do a better job of focusing Psy, right? Or Zai. I keep saying Psy. They could do a better job of focusing Zai, because it's just one Cassidy. And if you can get them out of the way for long enough, just a moment or two of time for Xeno to get in, then you can find success. I mean, that's exactly, it was just picture perfect on their attack on Numbani, right? Mm-hmm. Absolutely picture perfect. Exactly what they needed to do. They need to do that again. We know they can do it. We just have to see it several more times.
Absolutely. I think something that would really help them if they're trying this comp is they need to really act on those Sombra hacks. That's really what's going to give you what you need. You get a Sombra hack on the Diva or something. Okay, now it's time for us to push hard and to go for that Cassidy.
Exactly, exactly. And I still question the Sombra pick just a little bit as well. I'm not sure if that's the
It's fair.
answer,
It's fair.
right? I think that there could be a better answer to the Cassidy than Sombra. I'm not a DPS player, so unfortunately I'm not sure what that is. Um, but
Myself included, guilty as charged.
yeah, but I just think there's a better option. Maybe Tracer wouldn't be good. Never mind.
Mm-mm.
Cassidy's just so strong.
Hmm.
I think potentially what we need to see is maybe a little bit more of Panda Bear going in with Yikes. Or sorry, Ricky rather going in with Florida, going in with Zeno. I think maybe a little bit more engagement on the dive,
Yep.
right? Maybe Ricky playing a little bit more aggressively could be um the solution here.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I spoke about it before that aggression is so important in a dive comp. You need to really get your team together. And like I said, the reason why I pulled off of Sombra hacks is because that's a great initiator in case somebody's hacked we go. But even if they decide not to play the Sombra and they try something else, you need to have your tank line on top of that Cassidy ASAP because every second you let that fight draw out, it's a second that you're losing abilities, you're losing health, you're losing ult economy. It's just a snowball if you're not careful.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of what we're seeing in favor of Tempest Typhoon right now, right? Um, and I want to say again, I think that this series most likely now going to go 3-1 to Tempest Typhoon because we just haven't seen the adaptation that we need to out of Frost Nova. And if they were going to make it, I think they would have made it by now. Um,
Abs-
unless they really um, make a drastic difference to the way they're playing. Um, I think this goes to Tempest Typhoon.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair assessment. Again, I did like what I saw. Our first map, we saw a lot of really give and take from both of the teams. But you're right. If we don't have that adaptability there, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, we are going to be going to Volskaya Industries next. So, I think this is a pretty reasonable choice coming out from Frost Nova. We're going to an assault pick, and this one you can absolutely continue to run this Wrecking Ball composition, this Wrecking Ball Pharah composition on both on attack and defense. I think it's very strong.
Absolutely, and that's going to play to their strength here. I mean, I think being able to have that wide open space is going to be important for you because every time that you give Tempest Typhoon somewhere that they can hunker into, that they can take themselves back into, and they cut the angles off from you, it doesn't seem to go well for your comp. So Volskaya is a great pick. Let's go ahead and see how it goes.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It's gonna be whether or not Tempest Typhoon can continue. They know it's almost a foregone conclusion what Frost Nova is going to run out on, right? It's
Hmm.
which answer do they want to give them to that question, right? Is it
Absolutely.
going to be the six man that we saw before? It seemed to work pretty well. Or sorry, not the six man. The six man didn't work at all. Um, is it going to be the is it going to be a double shield composition on defense? Right? Is it going to be a brawl composition?
Absolutely.
I think those are their best options here, right? And my money is they're going to go brawl again.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, you got to cover that distance somehow, and being able to take those corners, being able to take the quickest path that you can, it can certainly work in their favor. They're going to need it. They really do.
Yeah, they're looking to shut down this series right here, right now, um, and they are primed to do it. I think teams should be just about ready to go in soon. So we're gonna get a chance to see what their thought process is, and yeah, I think that I think we're gonna just see again more of the same from here on out.
I
I
do
think
want
it's
to take
gonna
a
be.
second though. I want to
Yeah,
take a
go
second
ahead.
here. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Juggle, but
No, 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 go
I do
ahead.
want to take a second and really shout out our support players here because I've seen some really strong work on both of their lines. I mean, Saki's done a great job sticking with the Farah, but I would say even the brig plays that we saw happening earlier. I mean,
Traveling
both of
to
the teams I
Volskaya
think are
Industries.
mostly fueled by that strong support line, even though the DPS are making the plays.
Initiating match.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think each of the teams has recognized just how crucial these support lines have been as well, right? Because the
Hmm.
fights that we've seen swung the hardest have been when these support lines have been just deleted, right? I remember distinctly one on
Absolutely.
Numbani Streets, right? When
Yep.
Saki and Thor were just deleted, and that was it. Previously on, um, oh, where was it? What was the map right before this?
Ready for battle.
Numbani, um, or sorry, the first map. What was the very first map? Route 66. It was Route 66.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where we
we saw
saw
it
it.
happen as well, right? It was a very critical moment in that map as well. So they're, both teams very aware of how crucial these supports have been.
All right, so far we do see a little bit of stabilization that we see from Yikes in the team. They're going with that Torb Cassidy again. They know it's been working. They know it's been hard for an answer to be made for it, so they're gonna go ahead and keep that with Tempest Typhoon's side. But I think we're getting back into we're actually gonna see a little bit of Echo Zen here, maybe Echo Moira. I'm not really sure. They're kind of figuring out here, but the Echo could be an interesting thing. Again, you do leave yourself wide open to that Cassidy, so it could be a little difficult to deal with it.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a Frankenstein composition coming out from Frost Nova here. And I don't, necessarily mean that in a bad way. They're looking to get a couple of benefits in, some very interesting ways. This very six-man-esque, but not exactly. Florida going down very low. Not super going to be able to take Saki out of the fight first. It is going to be a counter pick onto Kreia. Immortality Field has been committed, and that's going to be an opportunity now for Xeno and the rest of Frost Nova to continue to push forward. This counter dive composition that was coming out from Tempest Typhoon not doing what it needed to do. They've been backed up all the way over to the other side of the point. They're still alive though, so Frost Nova, once again, we commented how they're having a hard time, finishing these fights. We're seeing that happen again. They're going to have reinforcements coming back. They've got to do something now.
Yeah, I also think that, using so many of those abilities on that engagement and then getting the rotation on the other side is difficult. We do see those abilities coming out once again. Winston jumping in. We have a bongo that's happening on the other side, and it is enough to get a little bit of a pick there on Xeno, but Yikes goes down right afterwards. I mean, this is messy in all the best ways, I would say.
That it is. But the advantage definitely on at the moment for Frost Nova as they get a couple of picks. Dr. Brennan now looking to try and stay alive, but under the onslaught of those shotgun cannons from Ricky, they do in fact fall. And this is going to be Frost Nova taking this first point in about a fight and a half.
Wow, and I would say that we're praying for that adaptability, and I think we're seeing it here. They're really trying to get this six-man-esque comp in their face. Don't let Cassidy see where you're going. Don't let him get any kind of angles on you out in the air. We need to play close. We need to play fast. We need to play really on top of them as best as possible, and I'm hoping it gives them more success. That was a great first fight.
That it certainly was. We're going to see a duplication coming out from Book now onto the Reinhardt Primal coming out from Florida as well. They're going to get zoned away by this Deadeye though. Molten Core now committed by Kreia to try and keep Frost Nova from finding any purchase on point. Florida, though, doing a huge amount of work, as is Panda Bear, coming in with a huge 2K. This is only going to favor Tempest Typhoon because now the fight is in their advantage, as are the spawns.
I have got to shout out Panda right now with these bombs. There's been several really big bombs on Panda's part. I mean, it's just great timing there, especially when you look and you go, okay, I think this is a lost fight. Never mind, 2 to 3 are killed from the bomb. I mean, it's really well played.
Yeah, I as well have to compliment Frost Nova. They have shown me a side of them that I haven't seen yet. Especially Xeno flexing onto this Reaper. It's a very good look. So I'm really excited to see this adaptability coming out from Frost Nova. They've put themselves back in this matchup. Certainly, we could very easily see a 2-2 series here. Book going to be able to clear away that. Yeah. Book being able to clear away a little bit of the huge shatter coming in from Yikes from Tempest Typhoon. We're going to see a couple kills coming their way. D-Mech is out on a Panda Bear, and Frost Nova continuing to fight this up. Death Blossom for 4 from Xeno. They recognized that Panda Bear was out of the mech, and that was the perfect opportunity to pop that Death Blossom. Xeno may be off of Farah, but maybe that's not what you wanted, Tempest Typhoon, because they just won that round for them. We're going to see a last-minute contest coming in here from Tempest Typhoon, but it is all but over. The point going to go in favor of Frost Nova. A couple of kills coming in their way already. We're going to get the duplicate from Book. They're going to be able to build up this self-destruct quickly. Immortality Field already out and down from Dr. Brennan. And that is 3:06 on the clock for Frost.
I would say, Frost, thank you, thank you, thank you. That adaptability was beautiful to see. I love seeing Xeno being able to go in there with something that isn't Pharah and still pop off and take off so many people. I mean, I think that's what they tried to show us on Numbani. It unfortunately didn't work out quite so well. But on this map, we're seeing it in full swing. This six-man comp is really scary. My question now is, what are we going to see in response to that?
Yeah, exactly. The rock, paper, scissors game continues. I thought we would reach the end, but we clearly haven't. So now it's gonna be interesting to see what Frost Nova does on defense because we've seen that they have an answer to Tempest Typhoon on offense. Can they hold on to this point? They're gonna go with it looks like the exact same composition on defense, and this is one of the I think one of the few assault maps where you can really do that. You can run the exact same composition on attack and defense to just as much success.
I will say, though, I do like Kreia locking that Pharah, saying, you know what, if they're going to play this up close six-man, I'm going to go ahead and take the skies as best as possible. And especially considering that Boone does not have a Mercy, it's going to be a little bit more in Kreia's favor, I would say.
You're absolutely right. It normally favors the Echo, but not when they don't have a pocket. This is interesting. Tempest Typhoon looking very much instead like Frost Nova this round. But yeah, it's going to come down, I think, a lot to, whether or not Frost Nova can get a pick before Kreia is able to build up value on this Pharah. So I'm going to be looking to book to really, find someone who's low and just delete them with that focusing beam. Yikes is going to go down very low, is forced back out of the fight momentarily. Their team a little bit scattered at the moment, a little bit disjointed. In fact, we're going to see a swap. Yeah, we're going to see a complete swap coming in from Tempest Typhoon. And they're going to go over to, they're going to put Zai back on the Cassidy and go to a full brawl composition. And this has a lot of potential. They could just hunker down on point, right? And just outlast this this composition from Frost Nova.
For sure, for sure. You see them trying to take the angle. They want to go ahead and go to that defensive side so they can go straight to that point. I'm loving the speeds that we've got here. Really good discipline on that part. But again, I would be curious to see when the two sides get on top of each other, what's going to happen, because Zeno on this Reaper can be pretty scary.
Yeah, we have already seen how devastating he can be. We're going to see the Frost Nova engage. Now Ricky going to be briefly caught in a freeze, but Dr. Brennan is forced to use that immortality field. This is definitely a go button now for Frost Nova. And here comes the engagement now from Florida. They're going to find Zai out on the side. That is the key to the, as I said before, the key to the puzzle for
Absolutely.
Frost Nova.
It is the key to the puzzle.
Is firmly going in their favor now, especially after Thor pops the Coalescence as well. That's going to be able to chase down the rest of the members who are now scattered to the winds of Tempest Typhoon and remove them from the fight. Frost Nova with a very good first hold. And look at that. That's half the time off the clock.
I think we may be getting another little bit of a comp swap here. I did see Zai go back into spawn. I'm not entirely sure. Nope, it looks like they are sticking with it, though. But I do have to say the thing that I'm seeing here is clearly Frost Nova was hungry. They're like, we don't like how it's been going. We're going to show you, Tempest, what we can do on our own Brawl comp.
That they are. Nice rotation coming in from Tempest Typhoon. They're going to put their hopes on getting onto this high ground now, but Frost Nova trying to disrupt it, and we're going to see Kreia use the Blizzard in the meantime, and Dr. Brennan gets the nice pick onto Florida. Sound barrier committed. Now that Tempest Typhoon has the advantage here, they're going to be able to ride this to a victory, but Book has other ideas. There's been a counter pick. Things are looking a little bit better for Frost Nova than they were just a second ago. Can Panda Bear take out Boone? They're getting so low. They are able to self-destruct coming in. Counterpick onto Dr. Brennan, though. This is a very messy fight, but Azino has the Death Blossom. This could be the nail in the coffin. Frost Nova doesn't even need it. They're going to be able to hold on to it for next fight, and that is key.
I gotta say, that fight was Diva Bomb, Diva Bomb, Diva Bomb. We had the copy bomb that took a couple of picks there. Then we had another follow-up bomb from Panda. We had one more bomb after that. It really was just kind of that pendulum. You didn't really know what was gonna happen until after everybody was gone.
Yeah, you really had to wait until the dust settled, and at the end of the day, it's going to leave a little bit of an ult advantage in Tempest Typhoon's hands. Just up to whether or not Yikes can land a shatter here. But Kreia going down early. Ooh. That is absolutely massive. Tempest Typhoon has swung this firmly in their favor. And that is going to be them capping first point with just a few seconds on the clock.
You spoke it into existence, Juggle. You said if he could land this shatter, and there it was. That's exactly what we were looking for.
Yep. That was the key to the puzzle right there. I'm just rolling with it now.
Yeah, I love it. Let's own it.
Yeah, exactly. Oakley just in production said make some t-shirts.
I won, absolutely.
Yeah, dude, maybe I have a catchphrase now.
Oh, we got the dude coming out right here with Zai. Just
that's gonna
again. Open that place for Kreia.
That's going to be massive, though. It's going to allow Tempest Typhoon to move onto point, but they're going to actually quickly back away. They're giving the space that they just gained up. Nino dropping in with the Death Blossom. The Immortality Field's going to be there, but there's way too much damage coming out from Frost Nova. They use the Primal Rage as well, but they're still going to have some tools in their belt for the next fight.
Yeah, I have to say, I mean, we saw the Diva, we saw the Diva Eat come out, we saw the Baptiste Lamp come out, we saw all of these things come out over and over again, but it just wasn't enough to keep up with that just absolute torrent of damage that was coming in from that Reaper ult and the team surrounding it.
Now it's going to be up to Dr. Brennan to get a lot of value out of this window here for Tempest Typhoon. Either that or Panda has to survive long enough to build up a self-destruct that they can launch. We've seen how brutal those can be. Interesting flank coming out from Tempest Typhoon. They're going to look to try and clear this high ground and disrupt any kind of like dive that could be staged by Frost Nova. I like this strategy. Here's going to be the window coming out now. Boone is forced to back out as their life is dwindling by the moment. Coalescence now completed by Thor as the draw composition has now landed on the point, but the pick's coming in favor right now of Tempest Typhoon. The remake kill is successful though. Zeno's there to come back with one as well, and Ricky finds Dr. Brennan. This is swung back firmly in favor of Frost Nova.
Oh my gosh, I can't keep up with these pendulum swings. 1 second you think it's going to happen, and then it just completely goes the opposite way. I mean, I feel like we're seeing both teams really hit their wall and break through it in this case.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They've kept, you know, they've kept the game going. They've kept the meta game going. It's been really fascinating watching them both counter each other, and now I feel like they're all firing on full cylinders. The ult rotations have been excellent for both sides. Yikes, once again, if it lands, it could be huge, and that's gonna clear out several members of Frost Nova. There's a counter pick there, but it's not gonna be enough. Frost Nova is gonna be able to come away with this fight win. The question now is, can anybody come back and stall out this point, or will Tempest Typhoon finish with a little bit of time on the clock? We're going to see Saki on point. They're not going to last too long. It's going to be up to Thor next, but they're out as well. But this is just enough time. If they can get this into OT, then they can keep Tempest Typhoon from getting an attack. The sound barrier is there. 6 seconds left to go. There's just a sliver of time remaining, but there's 3 members of Frost Nova on point. They've done it. They pushed it into OT. Now the only result here is a tie or a win for Frost Nova.
I gotta say, word of the night, adaptability. When we see it happen, suddenly everything flips the other way. This is my favorite kind of Overwatch to watch, because again, you see a match and it looks like it's a bit of a stomp or a team is struggling. You don't want to see that. I mean, that's just difficult. You feel bad for it. You feel what's going on. Tonight, complete opposite. This has been toe-to-toe the entire time, nail-biting action, and I am very happy to be a part of it here with you and Juggle and with you, Oakley.
Yeah, this has been phenomenal. You know, Frost Nova, they needed to come out with a statement here in this game, and I think that regardless now of which way it ends up going, they have made that statement. They have shown that they can compete with these mid-level and high-tier teams in this tournament, right? You can't write them off yet by any stretch of the imagination. And like you said, it's because of adaptability. We're seeing new things from them. We're seeing this side of Frost Nova that is very scary, and as Tempest Typhoon on the back foot here on Volskaya Industries.
I mean, it could be very easy to look at Frost Nova as the little, the little brother, little sister to Frost Surge, but they're making a name for themselves tonight. They are not going to let themselves be in the shadow of their sibling team.
You're absolutely right. Frost Nova coming out with what's worked for them before. This boon in the sky has proven to be exactly that. They only have to get one tick here, and they've got 3 minutes to do it. They can just build up ultimates if they want to, and then press Q and win. We're going to see them path through the high ground here. They're looking to take control of that so that they can stage a dive on the point. Is the rotation going to be in time? It looks like it just barely is. Now, definitely in favor of Tempest Typhoon, but there is a counter pick. Yikes is out of the fight, and the Immortality field is down. But with no supports in tow, Frost Nova is going to have to back off.
Yeah, very crucial first pick there on the supports. Really, really well done in Tempest Typhoon's case.
That it certainly was. And Yikes is just about built up to this shatter. They're going to be the first one, and that's been the difference maker in a lot of these fights. Gonna see a engagement coming now on the low ground. Florida looking for a little bit of value, but there's the shatter. It's a 6-man shatter. A 6-man shatter. And Yikes wins another fight for Tempest Typhoon. They are inching their way to victory.
Hey, I said I had to shout out Panda's bombs, but I also have to shout out Yikes' shatters. This is a really, really strongly tank-oriented game at this point. We've seen a lot come out from Zai and even some of the other members of the team, but Yikes and Panda, you guys are doing excellent in this match.
Yeah, they certainly are. Thor is getting close to this coalescence, and that's going to be the win condition, or one of the win conditions now, I think, for Frost Nova. Because if they can get that online, they can start to build some of their other ultimates. So they're going to want to take this fight relatively slow, but that's also going to play into Dr. Brennan building up this amplification matrix as well. So it's going to come down to which of these supports, I think, can get their ults online first. Shield of Yikes goes down, but the Deadeye is there, and Boone goes down instead. And now we are looking at just a minute on the clock for Frost Nova to make something happen, but they have had a hard time building up their ultimates.
You called it with that window there from Dr. Brennan. I mean, yeah, it's an easy way to take that Noon from a zoning ult to a killer ult right there. It takes him down in a heartbeat. And we saw that with both Boone and Ricky losing mech there.
Now, there's not going to be any ultimates online at the very beginning of this fight for Tempest Typhoon, but they're going to build up to a pretty good stack. Xeno's going to have this Death Blossom, though, and that's absolutely going to be the win condition. That and Boone's duplicate. They're going to have to play this slow enough in order to build those ultimates and stay alive long enough to do that. Here comes the sound barrier from Saki. That's certainly going to allow them to do that. Self-destruct committed. Not going to find any kills this time. Xeno building up this Death Blossom slowly. They're going to need to get it faster than that because Florida's already down and Yikes is on a tear. They're going to continue to hold on to this lead. Freya's Death Blossom is going to land before Zeno's even able to build up theirs. Frost Nova had the opportunity. They had the time, but they just couldn't execute when they needed to. We're going to a map 4, but it's still going to be a 2-1 game.
Yeah, I'm really just amazed by that. I mean, this tie, they do call it Draw Skya, but this tie was really well earned on the part of Frost Nova. Or Tempest Typhoon, forgive me.
Yeah, it absolutely was. Tempest Typhoon just, they played their game faster than Frost Nova, right? They identified their win conditions first, and they executed on them first. And it all started with that very first fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about adaptability being one of the major words of tonight, but I think the other thing is the ult cycling has been really excellent for both teams at different points in this this series tonight. We've seen sometimes Frost Nova's doing a great job being in the groove, being able to throw out ults one by one, and then here we saw Tempest Typhoon being really smart about it with Yikes' shatters. Fantastic bait right there, letting them come in, walk right into it. I mean, it's just really, really impressive.
Yeah, there's been different players, like you said, in like different areas of these teams shining at different points tonight. We're seeing the strengths right now of this entire Tempest Typhoon squad, right? It was Zai. When Zai lost effectiveness, the tank stepped up, right? And the supports as well. This has been absolutely amazing gameplay coming out from Tempest Typhoon.
100%.
And they are now, that has to be a hard blow for Frost Nova to take.
But if there's one thing that we've seen, Frost Nova has come back. They're hungry, they're angry, they're ready to go for more. I think we'll probably see something pretty explosive this next map when it comes to Frost Nova.
I think you're absolutely right. We're going to throw it to a quick break, though, to give the players and ourselves a moment to catch our breath and get some water. We will see you back here very soon. Don't go anywhere. This is a very exciting match.
See you for map.
After a heartbreaker of a draw for Frost Nova, we are going to go to a very sunny place. We are headed to Oasis next to heat up this match. The score is still 2-1 after Tempest Typhoon was able to hold them off.
Yeah, it's for sure. And back to our recurring theme here of adaptability. I would like to see what Frost Nova's answer is to what Tempest Typhoon is dishing out to them. Oasis, there's plenty of opportunity there, plenty of different comps that you can go ahead and play. I'm just curious to see where it goes.
Yeah, as am I. It's gonna be difficult to say which team really has an advantage coming into this map. I mean, I think the momentum is certainly still on Tempest Typhoon's side. The Frost Nova, after coming out with such a huge time bank on Volskaya Industries, to then be shut out into a draw, that's got to be deflating, right? And so it's. I think this map is going to show us whether or not the mental resolve of Frost Nova is there to continue to show up to this match just as hard as they have been this entire time, right? Or is this the opportunity where Tempest Typhoon is just going to seal the deal and put this series to rest?
Well, as a friend of mine that I play Overwatch with pretty constantly says, I think that all of the chakras and all of the energies opened up. The third eye happened for the tank line over at Tempest Typhoon. Clearly, they really got their synergy together. We had the crazy bombs happening from Panda, the crazy shatters happening from Yikes. If they bring that into this next match, that could be it right there.
It certainly could. Um, but I think that depending on which submap we go to first is going to be a pretty determining factor as well in how this map goes in particular. If we find ourselves somewhere like a downtown, or not downtown, what is it called? City Center. City Center. If we find ourselves on City Center, then I think Frost Nova has a very distinct opportunity to take that first submap, and that could be just the kind of boost they need to really get themselves back in this series. But if we find ourselves somewhere like University, then things could easily snowball for Tempest Typhoon in their direction, because I think their brawl composition is going to reign supreme if we find ourselves there. The other map, though, Gardens, that's the one that's really up in the air, right? To me, that's the really fascinating one. But we are going to be going to University first. So, Frost Nova, I think they're going to have to show some really strong resolve here. And maybe even have to come back from a first round loss.
Yeah, this Brawl v Brawl, if that's what we're going to see, we're still waiting on the teams to select. It is going to be pretty intense. But you're right. If Tempest Typhoon keeps that momentum going, this is going to be a really tough map for Frost Nova to get.
It certainly will be. I'm excited to see what they're going to do. Are they going to go back to comfort picks? No, they are going to show us yet another look. Tempest or Frost Nova is not going to be pigeonholed into just one composition. They are going to show us absolutely everything they can do, and I am here for it. We're going to have very, very possibly a complete mirror matchup here, if Spawn is what's to be believed.
Yeah, I mean, again, I've told you I'm a little biased with it, but I love the Brawl v Brawl. I think that it's a really intense, visceral way of playing, and I would like to see how the teams can really push forward with it.
As am I. Tempest Typhoon gonna come away with possession of the point first, but Frost Nova isn't in necessarily a bad position. They can stage from here very, very well to push out on a point. They can wait and get rid of some of these turrets before they move in. Zai, though, going to be looking to charge up that photon projector just as quickly as they can. Rotation coming out from Frost Nova. Boone unable to find anything with the flash just at that particular moment. Maywall gonna go up and it's able to section off Don Super. They fall very quickly, but it's gonna swing very quickly back in favor now of Tempest Typhoon as that photon projector of Zai's really gets to work.
Yeah, as we had seen previously, having that discipline when it comes to the Maywall and knowing the exact moment that you want to drop it to split and trap, it's a very important skill to have, and Kreia did a really good job of doing so.
That they did, and now they're going to be ahead in the ult economy as well. This next fight likely going to be a wash for Frost Nova, unless they can really come up with something on the back of potentially a Deadeye through a window. We're going to see Amp Matrix committed. Maywall going to come out from Xeno to mitigate its usefulness, and that's going to give Thor an opportunity to pop their seconds, which could be very, very advantageous, especially because Boone is just if they have the Deadeye. We could see a window Deadeye coming here from the high ground, and that could be devastating. We're going to get the window. Boone is going to drop to point. Maywall going to come up to try and keep Yikes in a place they don't want to be. Shatter lands, though. Gonna catch out for Don Super falls to the Deadeye of Boone, but Immortality Field has to be committed as well. We're gonna see a Blizzard coming. We're gonna see a freeze coming out from Xeno. Sound Barrier now committed by Frost Nova. They're coming back in this fight a little bit ahead, but Zai still not to be outdone, continuing to do some damage. Self-destruct comes in from Panda Bear. It's not going to find anything this time, and the point is going to flip back in favor of Frost Nova.
Yeah, I gotta say, it was a little scary there for a second when Yikes landed that Shatter, but I think being able to pull up that Noon from Boone was fantastic. Speaking of Shatter, Florida has decided that he's had enough of the Diva and takes that out there.
That they do. Ricky gonna finish the job off on Don Super, and I've got to admit, Tempest Typhoon doing a phenomenal job of stalling out this point, and this has been a recurring theme tonight, that Frost Nova needs to get these cleanup picks so much earlier because they're just losing such valuable percentage. They've won the fight, but it cost them every percentage point it possibly could.
It was amazing to see that tank line stay in there. Yikes and Panda are really doing their best to stall, knowing when to get on, when to get off that point. And like you said, we're at the 99% here. It's going to be a bit of an uphill climb for Frost Nova.
Especially considering they don't have any ultimates in their bank. Dr. Brennan's going to be able to open up this fight with an amplification matrix, and then Kreia's going to be able to launch this Blizzard. Saki doesn't have a sound barrier. It's going to be up to Thor's Immortality Field to really get a lot of work done here. Here comes the amplification matrix. Deadeye going to be committed by Boone. There comes the Blizzard. Is the Immortality Field there? No, it's not. Saki doesn't have the sound barrier in time. Tempest Typhoon gonna come away with this point when right here, this is all but over in favor of them. We are gonna see a self-destruct gate take Don Super out of the fight, but that's not gonna be enough. The rest of the members of Frost Nova fall.
Yeah, I gotta say that point presence on the terms of Tempest Typhoon was just absolutely oppressive in any way. What exactly did we see happen there?
It's been turned around. Frost Nova's got back in the fight. This was Tempest Typhoons by rights, and they've let it slip between their hands. Frost Nova's going to be able to chase Yikes down into the depths right here, and against all odds, Frost Nova's coming away with a fight win. They're gonna continue to hold on to this point. They took a page right out of Tempest Typhoon's book.
That was incredible. Juggle, what do you think was the key to the puzzle there? If we should keep this this theme going here, what exactly gave them that swing that they needed there?
Yeah, you know what? It was the fact that Tempest Typhoon didn't get the picks quick enough. It was the same mistake to me that Frost Nova had made. They didn't get the cleanup fast enough. They let the stragglers stick around too long, and that allowed the resupports to come back in, and then they got overconfident and lost focus. We're gonna see a shatter come in from Yikes again, and it is absolutely massive. 99 to 99. Tempest Typhoon is upset about what just happened to him, and they're coming back with a vengeance. This time, there's surely no way we can see a comeback here from Frost Nova. This one is all but over. The DMAC gonna come in. Ricky gonna be taken out. Boone tries to come to point with a pulse bomb, but it's gonna be denied. Overtime's gonna take over. The self-destruct is gonna zone him out, and that's gonna be Tempest Typhoon coming back. And what a first map of Oasis.
I feel like we're swinging back to what we saw in the very beginning. All of this when we saw Nepal is that just that tooth and nail fight from both sides, constantly pushing at one another. I don't know how this is going to end up. I mean, for a little while it looked like Tempest Typhoon was running away with it, but I think Frost Nova is still showing us we're here and we're not going away.
You're absolutely right. Frost Nova, if nothing else, has shown us a tremendously dangerous side of themselves tonight in so many different facets. Now we're gonna see them move over to the 6-man dive and with a tracer in tow instead of the Sombra. Oh no, they're going over to the Echo. It's this Frankenstein composition they used to such great success earlier, going up against the exact meta 6-man dive.
Absolutely. I would like to see what the Echo can get, what you can poke out here, because when you're down that excuse me, your Sombra there, you really do have to make up for it in damage. That hack could be a little too difficult to deal with if you're not killing things quickly. And speaking of killing things quickly, though, we do get the pick on Dr. Brennan right there, but Florida gets taken out right afterwards. It does look like, though, this is going to be swinging in the favor of Frost Nova at the moment. They were just able to really take that tank line, take that back line down and move into the tanks right afterwards.
Yeah, you know, it was that aggression that you mentioned that we needed to see come out from Echo. That was the key to the puzzle right there. They were able to focus on the members of Tempest Typhoon that were low and just delete them and get that early pick. And crucially, it was on to, I believe, Dr. Brennan as well. So they swept their feet right out from under them. And now going in,
they need.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to see a rotation coming out from Tempest Typhoon to try and deny the easy dive opportunity from this Frost Nova composition. In fact, they're going to rotate all the way around, it appears, now giving up that advantage they just had. Florida is going to meet him with the Tesla cannon. Immortality Field is taken out, and that is exactly when Boone decides to strike, taking Zai out of the fight. That's, again, one of those keys to the puzzle that you need to remove. Panda's going to find themselves in the middle of traffic, and as is Yikes, and I think that was just a tactical reset coming out from Tempest.
I would imagine so. But yeah, I mean, Frost Nova is really showing themselves quite strong here. I know last match they got robbed just at the last second. They had so much power and presence that was going on, but it's completely commanding in this case. But I can't speak too soon. Tempest Typhoon could swing this. It is really anyone's game this entire series.
It certainly is. The ultimate's still in favor of Frost Nova, though, at the moment. I'm looking for Boone to have a pretty significant impact here when they decide who they're going to duplicate. But Xeno might have beaten to the punch with a fantastic Death Blossom. Going to result in 2 quick picks in favor of Frost Nova. And Tempest Typhoon has to reset fast because they've only got 1 fight left.
And with that copy still looming overhead, that's going to be a very difficult fight indeed.
It certainly is. Saki has the sound barrier as well to potentially mitigate this threat coming in from Freya when they build their Death Blossom. Sound barrier, though, going to be committed aggressively. Instead, they're looking to end this here and now, but Boone has the duplicate now onto the Reinhardt. They find themselves a little out of position, though, but Xeno's still there to get 1 kill. Florida, though, gets knocked out. Zai comes in, Ricky comes in, Panda Bear comes in, and at the end of the day, it's going to be just 1 member of Typhoon, Tempest Typhoon remaining. Dr. Brennan on the high ground. They're going to be dealt with quickly, though, and Frost Nova is back in it.
Man, oh man, I do have to say that the ults that we saw come out of the ults that we saw come out of Frost Nova there were just so perfectly placed. I know there's been a couple of hiccups that they've had in some of the maps. Sometimes they don't have what they need going in. Sometimes they have too much going in. They just use too much. But that there was really just textbook play when it came to what do we want to use each fight.
It really was. And, it reminded me actually of what Tempest Typhoon did to Frost Nova on Volskaya when they came back for their second defense and they held them to get the
Mm-hmm.
draw, right? Not
Absolutely.
only did they win these, first two fights, but nobody had any ultimates built up yet for the losing side through two fights, right? They were able to win them so quickly that they denied that ult advantage for way longer than they should have been able to. We're gonna see the brawl coming out against this six-man Frankenstein composition once again. Maywall coming out, nicely done there by Kreia, but it's gonna be Yikes falling to the sticky bombs of Boone. Now that there's one down from each side, the main take, it's going to be up to these divas to really be the difference maker, and we see that already in the kill feed. High ground being firmly controlled by Tempest Typhoon. They're going to give it over to Frost Nova, and in fact, the boot comes in from Ricky. Beautiful play right there, and Frost Nova look to be well on their way to taking us to a map 6.
Yeah, Tempest Typhoon is going to really have to take a second to reset themselves and really focus on what do they need to do next, because I think in terms of aggression and having success with it, Frost Nova is really doing a great job of it. They're on top of them, they're inside of them, they're using every ability of one after another, just taking down their tank line and collapsing on the rest of them right afterwards.
Now we see Kreia going over to this Reaper, and I'm a little bit confused by this pick. I feel like they need to be a little bit more concerned about the Echo rather than the Monkey, but Florida is going to be the first to fall, so maybe the swap over to the Reaper was the answer they needed. We're going to see a duplicate coming in now from Boone. They're going to get the Shatter up. They're going to be able to lay it down. It does connect. This has the potential to turn the fight if they can stay alive long enough. Self-destruct thrown in. Not going to find anybody, but Ricky's able to take Zai out of the fight. And now Kreia's looking really low under the pressure from Boone. They're going to be able to get a kill. And what is this? Frost Nova has turned this around. Once again, this time on the back of some phenomenal tank play coming out from the DPS, but Yikes lands with a Shatter. This isn't over yet. Tempest Typhoon have an opportunity. Can Xeno be able to come away with the rest of the kills? Don Super, the last player remaining, aside from this diva who's getting booped back and forth by Florida. This is Frost Nova's fight again.
Oh my, just when we're calling one thing, the absolute opposite happens. I feel like at this point it's probably better we keep our mouths shut, Juggle, because every time we think something's going one way, it goes the other way instead. I'm just on my toes here, but you are right, Frost Nova still has point control, still has the domination here. Tempest Typhoon really needs to push in, and unfortunately all they've got coming up right now is that Reaper ult, so they've got to play wisely here.
That they do. They're going to have to try and bait out this sound barrier first, but Xeno's going to go in with the Death Blossom right off the bat. There's the sound barrier from Saki to keep them all up, and the Immortality Field was successful from Dr. Brennan. Here comes the Death Blossom in response, but already there's a pick in favor of Frost Nova. Make that 2 now. Frost Nova really showing us that they want this game badly. We're going to see a self-destruct committed, but Thor is there with the Coalescence. It denies the remake from Panda Bear. That might have been a kill as well. It's these clutch plays coming out from the Frost Nova squad that's leading them to victory here on Oasis and taking us to a map number 6.
I am truly amazed with both teams tonight. Just when you think that they're down and out, just when you think that things are sliding against them, they rally themselves and they push back into it, and now they're the dominating side that's going on. So, yes, a map 6 tonight is well-deserved on both teams' parts. Wow, I did not think we would be here.
No, you never expect a map 6. It's like it's just this beautiful thing that happens every so often, and it's always just such a pleasure to get against them because they mean that the game has just been absolutely wild.
Yeah,
and
the stars align, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. It's the stars aligning just right, and that means I'm not even entirely sure which map type we're going to next. It's another part.
We're going to an escort map.
Okay. Gibraltar and Junkertown are going to be the last two choices here. And it's going to be Tempest Typhoon's choice, and I've got my vote on what I think they're gonna pick. What about you, Goob dude? Do you have an
Oh
inkling?
my. I honestly don't, Juggle, but I trust your instinct. Where do you think we're going next?
I think we're going to Junkertown next because
Makes sense.
I think that's gonna mitigate, a potential Pharah pick, right? Especially on
Hmm.
first point. You can run a double sniper on defense and just mitigate that threat completely, right? And in addition, Gibraltar feels like it would be playing right into the hands of Frost Nova. If this
Oh,
were Frost Nova's
absolutely.
pick, I think we would be going to Gibraltar in a heartbeat because their dive has proven a little bit stronger, I think, than Tempest Typhoon's.
That is true. That is absolutely true. And again, we do not want to circle back around to that Farah having the strength. So Junkertown, I mean, I'd like
Right.
to see the snipers. Zaya has definitely been such a sharpshooter tonight. I mean, seeing the Cassidy and seeing that what comes out with that. And I think Kreia has shown that they're very good at adapting to what the team needs and filling the comp. So I hope that we do see Junkertown for Tempest Typhoon's sake. It would be great.
I think so as well. I think that's going to be the place for them to go. And it's I can't believe that we're here with so much adaptation coming out from each of these teams. It hasn't stopped the entire night, right?
No.
Um, they've just done such a great job of reading each other and counterplaying, and it's come out to these micro moments, right? Like the coalescence hitting, taking out the diva right before she was able to remech. That led to, I think, the snowball win there for Frost Nova on Gardens on
Absolutely.
Oasis.
And it
So
does look like we're going to Junkertown. That's where we're going to head off to, just as you predicted and hoped for. But I do have to say that both of these teams, just when you think they're out of steam and things look like, okay, you know what, they're tired, they've been playing for so long tonight, they're done, they get a second wind, a third wind, a fourth wind underneath of them, and they push back again with so much strength. I have to say that the endurance of both Tempest Typhoon and Frost Nova is something to be admired.
it certainly is. And I think that as well. You know, you know those times where like you stay up late, so late, and then you get past the point of being tired, and you can just stay up forever, right?
Exactly,
Like I
yes.
feel
You're
like
just
that's
like
kind of the
pushing
point
through.
we've reached. Some of these players, right, is they've gone beyond the exhaustion, and now every single player I think on both of these teams is in the zone right now, like
Yep.
legitimately. But Frost Nova just edging out a little bit Tempest Typhoon at the moment, and right now it's the moment that matters, right?
Mhm.
Riding these waves, I think, of momentum have been key for both of these teams.
I will say with certainty, we have not seen a weak link in either team the entire night. Everybody has been some kind of star at some point, either with a couple of fights that have happened on certain maps or maybe dominating for an entire map. I mean, these are really good lineups and these are really good builds for the team. And so I'm looking forward to see how it turns out here. We're 2-2. Somebody's got to win it, and this is where it's going to happen.
Yeah, there's technically a tie possible here, but we're not gonna see that.
You
two
say
two two
that,
com-
but watch.
two spawn holds at zero, right? It can happen, but it's out of the realm of possibility. Excuse me.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, like, now my question is what are we predicting when it comes to specific hero picks here? Because it would be easy to say, okay, we're going to see, we're going to see the snipers, we're going to see that, but I mean, adaptability has to be down to the micro level at this point. So what are we expecting to see pop out of a hat?
I think Tempest Typhoon might fall back onto Brawl here.
Hmm? Okay, fair.
I think they might fall back onto Brawl here, especially on first point, right? And Frost Nova, I expect we're gonna see this kind of Frankenstein six man comp come out again with
Yep.
Noob on the or Boone on rather on the Echo
And
because
it's
that's
surprising
that's
that
been the
they
new thorn
haven't.
in the side. Yeah, for
Yeah, I was
Frost
gonna say they haven't
for
had an
Tempest Typhoon.
answer for this Echo, which is amazing because Zaya has shown how good Cassidy is. But I mean, Boone has had a lot of free space to be able to move in with the team and just beam them down, take them down with the stickies. I don't know how it's gonna go. I'll be honest.
Yeah. This is really really fascinating. We're having a couple of problems just in lobby at the moment, so we're going to throw it to break real quick while we get those sorted out. But we will be back in a flash with this exciting conclusion to this absolute mayhem of a match between Tempest Typhoon and Frost Nova. Don't go anywhere.
You stay tuned.
We have seen it all tonight, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and family beyond the binary. We have gone through 6 maps, or 5 maps so far, getting ready to head into our 6th. It's a tie game between Tempest, Typhoon, and Frost Nova, and there's no way we are coming out of this with another tie here. Junkertown going to be the last map that we visit in this absolute marathon of a mayhem match tonight, and I am here for it, Goob Dude. How about you?
Oh, I am definitely here for it. You know, I told myself, I'm excited to go out and cast tonight. I hope it's a really intense game. And boy, did I get that in spades. Like, this has been back and forth, heartbreaking, heart pounding. I mean, I cannot wait to see how it ends. And I do want to say that both Frost Nova and Tempest Typhoon, regardless of how it ends, should be very proud of their performances tonight. Because boy, did they give each other a run for their money.
They certainly did. I feel like every single player on each of these squads has like leveled up in this game, right? Like, throw any of these players in a comp game after this, and I think they're gonna dominate, right? Like,
Yeah,
they've just been playing at the top of their ability right now, and I don't think we're gonna see either of them give any way to that either. I think this is gonna be a nail biter to the finish, and what an interesting place to end up on, right? Junkertown.
Absolutely. I'm sure neither team was expecting this tonight, so I wonder how much they've actually been able to practice Junkertown and to really get it into their map rotation and pool and such. But, I mean, clearly, as we were speaking before the break, you did say that it was a little bit of a favor of going against that Pharah. You want to have the double snipers ready to shut that down. Although we are seeing the Cassidy Torb on it, which has been very strong for them tonight. It's been quite the comp for them to run over on Tempest Typhoon. But I do see Boone on the Tracer here, looking probably for a little bit of poke. And then Xeno's pulling out Hanzo. We have not seen Hanzo from Xeno tonight, so I am interested to see how that goes. Although both the Reaper and the Pharah tonight have been intense.
They certainly have, and at this point, I'm going to believe whatever Xeno decides to pick, because they have certainly shown themselves to be a multifaceted DPS player. And, it's interesting. The composition that Tempest Typhoon has elected to run it's a very anti-dive composition, and that's not what they're going to be going up against at all. So I'm interested to see whether or not we see a comp swap coming out, either before the first engagement or after the first fight if they don't take the win here.
For sure. So getting a little bit of that poke damage happening there. Xeno looking to burst down those shields for the reset there. We've got some push on the cart from the D.Va. I mean, it's just a little bit of a spam back and forth at the moment. We're still waiting to see when a pick comes in.
Fortify has been used now by Yikes, so this could be an opportunity now for Frost Nova to decide to descend upon them. Cart's going to be moved up to this first corner. Florida looking for a nice haul. Not going to find too much in it. Most of the members of Tempest Typhoon able to shrug it off easily. But right now, the ult being built up by both of these Baptistes are pretty significant. They are neck and neck. They're going to be popped, I think, almost immediately. And that's, I think, when we're going to see some of these picks start to come in.
Absolutely right about that. Good pull there with the rock, though. That was excellent damage to pick the opening that Frost Nova needs right there. We do have a pick on Zai from Xeno there, and the Immo is down as well, so it's really going to be on your back foot at this point. Frost Nova has nothing to lose by pushing forward into it, and I think it's going to be their fight.
It absolutely is. They have pushed Tempest Typhoon completely back to spawn. And you're absolutely right. It was that halt into the accretion, into that tree trunk of an arrow coming out from Xeno. So this Frost Nova squad, they've got it down right now, the coordination. Early amplification matrix now committed by Dr. Brennan. That's going to give some pushing power certainly to Tempest Typhoon, but it may have been committed a little too early, is because now they've just really regained the space that they already had. Now comes in a window from Thor, and I think that she's timed hers a little bit better. Going to be a Dragon Strike coming through it as well. Going to really separate this Tempest Typhoon squad into a couple of distinct pieces. They're going to be chased through the mini health pack room, but it's going to be Yikes popping the supercharger now at the backside of that room. It's going to give them the advantage, but kills coming in for both sides right now. Frost Nova not to be outdone at the moment. In fact, they're going to be able to ride this potentially to win off a pick from Xeno right there.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing crucial the pick play that's happening right here. You got to take the early opening, and then you're able to slide through the rest of it. But, I mean, normally you would see it just kind of fall in one direction, but it just seems like it's trading pick after pick from both teams. But there is a steady push from Tempest Typhoon on the cart. Slowly but surely, they are moving it up.
That they are, and they're getting counter picks each and every time, and their spawn advantage is going to be a little bit stronger right now. It's really devolved into just about a deathmatch on the point, which Tempest Typhoon is winning, but not quick enough because Frost Nova is now back. Pulse Bomb going to be committed, and it lands. Dive Super out of the fight. Counter pick going to come in onto Florida, though, so once again, it isn't over yet, but look at the time bank. Regardless of who's won this fight, Frost Nova is winning at the moment because there's less than a minute left. And the picks are still coming in for both sides. A couple of Thor is down. There's no supports, though, left for Frost Nova. So Tempest Typhoon will, in fact, be able to capture first point.
Wow. I mean, I said it earlier in the beginning of the night, the defense play from both of these teams is incredible. They're able to hold their ground where they need to be. They're able to stop it. I mean, I don't think we've seen a lot of, especially on our escort and hybrid maps here, a lot of getting to our last point on them. They usually hold it somewhere along the way. So I really do love that. Now, as we're going into this next section here, the double shield being up on the high ground here, it really does favor blue team here, but we're going to have to see what they can actually do to move in. We've got a Flux coming in right now, along with the Bongo and the Dragon underneath of it. Is it going to catch anything? It does not appear so. It looks like they were able to split both sides and take it wisely.
Yeah, now Frost Nova has a little bit of an advantage because that was the win condition right there from Tempest Typhoon, but they're able to actually ride it to victory as a couple picks come in right after they expend their ultimates. Looks like the utility on the side of Frost Nova just wasn't quite there. Freya has the Molten Core, likely going to hold it as the rest of the members of Frost Nova just fall. And now Tempest Typhoon has a lot of momentum moving into third.
I was just about to comment, it looks like we are seeing some momentum building here with Tempest Typhoon. I mean, it was a little bit of a shaky start. Who knows what he was going to get? Boone trying to get the touch on the point, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The Dragon splitting it off there. We got a Pulse Bomb stick. It does take out the ammo, but I don't think Frost Nova can hold this here. I think Tempest Typhoon's got it in.
They do. It was a valiant effort by Frost Nova, but unfortunately they, I think, expended a little bit too much into a fight that had a very slim chance of success. I think those resources would have been better saved for something else. I think you just get the contest there. You maybe get a counter pick or something, and you hold these ults for your next fight, because now that's 3 ultimates down, and they've got 2 coming online, but they're going to be coming online at the same time as Dr. Brennan's and Dr. Supers. Or Don Supers.
I do like the promotion. Dr. Super actually sounds like a great position to have. But I do have to say here, we got the early pick from Zion to Boone Core there. That is definitely an advantage for Tempest Typhoon there. But one of the things that we're going to need to see here is some really good disciplined ult usage. We do have the Bongo that's out for Florida at the moment, just trying to see if they can burst anything down at the moment. But I do know that Tempest Typhoon has the ult economy. We've got Kreia throwing in the Molten Core. It does take out Florida, but you see that Frost Nova is able to clean up pretty much the rest of the team there, thanks to Ricky's Sigma play.
Yeah, that was an excellent engagement from Frost Nova. They really needed a win on this map. They had an excellent first point, but then I think it was just some undisciplined, mistakes that lost them the entire streak phase, right? But now they're looking a little bit better coming into this next fight.
For sure. I mean, you see, if we're looking at our old economy here, it does look like Tempest Typhoon's got plenty that they can play with. They've got the Flux coming online soon. They got the Dragon that can go along with it. Brennan can get us a nice zoning window. There's just a lot of possibilities. Right now, we've got Ricky using a Flux. He does pick up Brendan, but unfortunately the ammo is enough to be able to stop it. We've got a little bit of a hunker down happening right now with Tempest Typhoon. They've got to hold this corner. And
What?
Oh my god, Boone getting a magnificent pulse bomb there on the team. I just said they were hunkered up, and that was perfect prime candidacy to get that explosion. Wow, what a stick.
Yeah, that was absolutely massive. Frost Nova gets themselves another fight win off of a hero play from Boone. But now the ult advantage has swung in favor of Tempest Typhoon.
For sure, Tempest Typhoon times this correctly. They can go ahead and get that push probably into the last point, right up to the stall that's going to be happening with Frost Nova. But they've got to be smart with these ults. They do have a lot of them, but if you let any of them squander, you're just playing right into the hands of Frost Nova.
There you are. We're going to see an early amplification matrix, and the damage gets in before Tempest Typhoon can even blink. Frost Nova has won this fight, but fortunately for Tempest Typhoon, the silver lining is they've got one more fight and a fistful of ults.
Absolutely. This is going to be the time to really be investing them. You've got to ult first. You cannot let Frost Nova take that advantage there. And Frost Nova knows that. That's the reason why every time they come into view, they're around the corner right away. It's let's use our window, let's use our Bongo, let's go for it. We got the Dragon coming in, just as I said, forcing them off the ground there. But Tempest Typhoon does. We've got double couple Sig ults right here, and Ricky's is canceled by Panda being the first one to use it there. We do have a Trance coming in here just trying to stabilize the point, but it looks like Tempest Typhoon is finally swinging this in their favor.
They certainly have, and they're going to be able to ride this into last fight territory because of time and distance. This is for completion right here, and they're going to have a supercharger to start things out, and oh, you don't want Thor to be falling that early. That is very, very bad. Fortunately, there's still a little bit of time before the card's going to be in within range of this spawn, of this completion point. Supercharger now committed. Florida going to be taken out early. Xeno falls as well in this overtime push, looking to be successful from Tempest Typhoon. We're going to see Panda Bear go down dangerously low, but the support is there, and so is the Molten Core to wipe out the rest of Frost Nova.
I have to say there were quite a number of moves on that last point that Frost Nova was really smart and really patient when it came to their ults, but like you said, the ult economy really decided it there, and as soon as Tempest Typhoon had that swing in their favor, it was just constantly barraging them with ults after ults after ults. There's nothing you could do to get back from it.
No, there wasn't, and now Frost Nova is tasked with the task of finishing the entire map. They're going to be hoping to finish with time on the clock, though, as if they can do that, that's going to give them quite the advantage over Tempest Typhoon if we see a round 3 and 4, which, if this match is anything to guess from, we are going to see.
I absolutely love that we saw in the beginning as both teams were trying to pick and prod at each other with what can we do to get through the defense. You saw a lot of walls that they were hitting, but now they're really breaking through. They're making it to third point. They're making it to full cap. It's almost like the reverse of how these games would normally go. Usually you'd think the steam would run out, but it just keeps getting more and more.
Yeah, these players have just been fueled by this match tonight, and they're showing no signs of slowing down at all. We're going to see Tempest Typhoon come out with a very classic Brawl composition to try and hold it, even with Zai on the Symmetra, which I don't feel like is a typical pick here on Junkertown.
Yeah, I would say this is going to be some kind of a close hold that they've got to do here. I mean, they want to take that early time off and take these early fights, because then they get the chance to recontest it there a little bit. We've got the Rhine oppressively holding in the doorway there, just trying to keep any spam that they can throw into the place. The Sim turrets are out. They're ready for them to walk out. Just keep them in spawn as long as possible. The less time they push that cart, the better chance you have of holding it all the way.
Ooh, and an excellent
there from Zai.
Excellent shot coming out from Zai. The res is going to be there, so that threat of getting your head just knocked off your shoulders from Boone is still there. But already, this spawn hold coming out from Tempest Typhoon has to be considered success. And now, I like this. Frost Nova's going back to what has worked for them in the past. It's come full circle, and we've got Xeno back on the Pharah. Already, they're finding some value, but Ricky is out of the fight. Don Super able to get a pick. But they're at least able to start to get out of spawn here. Boone able to pick up a Zai, though. That's going to give a lot of room now for Frost Nova to start moving, and they take it.
Yeah, I have to say, I really do like the Pharah pick there. I mean, when you see they're holding close Brawl, well, I may as well get up in the air where none of them can deal with me. That's what I'm going to do. So smart play on that part. Now, I do want to see, what are we going to see Tempest Typhoon flip to after they're done stalling this cart?
Yeah, it's are they going to continue with this Brawl? Hoping to build up off of these ultimates, or are they going to swap to something else? Don Super just popped a sound barrier, and I feel like that was a pretty considerable misplay. They are going to really wish they had it for this upcoming fight, because there's a pulse bomb coming, there's a supercharger coming. Both of those could be really mitigated by a sound barrier.
I would say I really do commit the sticking it to the stalling that they had at the spawn door, but you are right, it's going to be very difficult not having that defense ult here.
Boone with a massive pulse bomb, able to take 2 out of the fight. Ricky there to continue to clean up. Supercharger commit, and then there's going to be no hope of Tempest Typhoon holding on to first point.
Whew. We saw that they went into it with the ults there. You know, they had plenty that they farmed off of the Brawl in the first place. And like you said, we didn't have the defense with the beat drop there. So it was a lot easier for Frost Nova to kind of use that explosion. And I'm hoping that what they're looking for here is to keep this momentum going. You see Xeno trying to push up ahead, taking out some of the angles on them. We still see the Brawl from Tempest Typhoon. I think they're really trying to make this work and get into that backline. But it's questionable if it's going to really pay off for them.
They're going very, very aggressive with this, and I have to wonder if it isn't going to put them in a tough position We see Ricky now dropping into the back line. Oh, look at that. Zai almost walked into the self-destruct, realizing at the last minute what they were doing. Shatter going to be thrown down by Yikes, but it's going to be the rockets from Xeno that are going to land and do the damage that needs to be done. Immortality field out, but it only saves the members of Tempest Typhoon for a split second.
And Tempest Typhoon is going to need some kind of a shift here. We do see it happening with Yikes going on the Orisa. I think we're going back to our comp that we've seen a lot of tonight with the Cassidy and Torbjorn together. But at this point, it's going to be tough. I mean, we've got the Barrage online. We've got yet another Pulse Bomb ready to go. They're going to need some real foothold here to be able to keep them from steamrolling until the last point.
That they will, and really the only ultimates they have are things that just zone, right? A self-destruct and a Deadeye. I mean, occasionally they land, and for Panda Bear, maybe it's a little bit more than occasionally, but still, you can't really depend on those to be fight swinging. Gonna see Panda Bear getting ready now, shield going down low from Florida. This Tempest Typhoon squad's gonna have a hard time pushing the point. Here comes the self-destruct. Right after a couple of picks come out, the Deadeye as well. Immortality Field's there to keep members alive. Panda Bear not going to fight anyone with remix. Zai going to eat the business end of a rocket as well. Xeno has this barrage. Here it comes. It's going to land. And Frost Nova gets another fight win. And they're going to go into third point with a considerable time bank.
Yeah, Tempest Typhoon is going to need to pull back what they had at the beginning of the night. What did we do to answer for the Pharah? And that was really pocketing Zai and making sure that he can make the space that he needs to on the Cassidy. But it just feels difficult when you've got Boone just poking in there and looking for all kinds of sticks and damage that he can get while they're busy trying to regroup with each other. It's quite the strategy right now from Frost Nova.
Yeah, it certainly is. They've done a phenomenal job of really dictating the tempo in these fights here, and that's been what's led them to a lot of success. Boone is able to recall back to safety after taking a flash and getting briefly stunned. Florida gonna be looking to use the supercharger relatively early, I think, in this fight. Pulse Bomb comes in, but the Immortality Field gonna prevent anything from doing lasting damage. Boone's still looking to follow it up though, but it's gonna be Ricky who gets the pick instead. Immortality Field out now, and that's going to be Frost Nova taking a win despite this Immortality Field. Look at this self-destruct, though. Shield going to save them for the last moment, but still the damage coming in from Frost Nova, just too much to maintain. And look at this positioning now. The Tempest Typhoon is still stuck back there where Frost Nova is just rounded the corner with the cart. There's barely anyone left from Tempest Typhoon to contest the point. This is a huge miscalculation and misplay coming out from Tempest Typhoon. Side doing everything they can to try and turn it around when they're rewarded with a couple of picks, but there's still so many members of Frost Nova there. They are in fact going to be chased off by Zai, the hero for Tempest Typhoon. What a wacky fight.
That is the foothold that they've been needing. Now the question is, can they really make use of these DPS ults to be able to hold this position? It's going to be tough. It's 2 minutes and 17 seconds on the clock. I don't know how it'll be done, but it's not impossible. I've definitely seen harder fought battles be won.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we don't have to think back too far as well. We just have to think back to Volskaya when the Tempest Typhoon burned 3 minutes off the clock in a very unlikely scenario. So, if any team can do it, it is certainly them. Xeno doesn't have the barrage ready to go, and it's going to be Boone taken out of the fight right after that Pulse Bomb as well. Molten Core now committed by Kreia. Xeno going to be able to take the turret out with some help, but they're going to have to get more than that, and in fact, it's going to be Panda Bear coming up with a kill. Supercharger not going to get much value this time around for Frost Nova.
I have to say, very good pacing on Tempest Typhoon's part. I mean, Zai came out, got those picks the fight before this, and now they're able to really keep themselves stable here. It is going to be interesting to see what Frost Nova can do. They're going in with no ults right now. It's dry fights at the moment. And meanwhile, we've still got a window that's waiting on the side, along with a bomb coming up for Tempest Typhoon.
Yeah, this bomb could be absolutely devastating. Panda Bear has just been on the mark with him. This is the last real fight that Frost Nova is going to get. They're not going into it with too many resources. They desperately need to finish this. Panda Bear just about has the amplification matrix up. Florida gonna be taken out of the fight early on. The res is there. This is a huge boon for Frost Nova. This barrage coming in from Xeno has to be huge. There's a pick on the side. Now they're going to be a lot more free to let it rip. And there it goes. It's not going to find the value he needed, though. Kreia going to be able to take them out of the sky. Now they're going to go on a barrage. Self-destruct is going to land from Panda Bear. This could be the end of this fight right here. But Ricky coming in with another kill. It's still being hotly fought, but the spawn's going to be firmly in advantage of Tempest Typhoon. Now it's just one more fight, and we knew it was going to be close, but I didn't think it was going to be this close.
For sure. We've got a Bongo and coming up with the rally ult right after that happening right now for Tempest Typhoon. They've got some comfortable stuff, but Ricky could get a very clutch Diva Bomb here. I mean, it could be game-changing, so we'll have to see what happens.
Absolutely, it's going to be a window versus a bongo right here to decide the fate of this matchup. Here it comes, and early on, we've already got a pick on the Dawn Super. That is a huge boon for this Frost Nova squad. Self-destruct can be thrown in as well. The res is successful, so is the bomb. We might, in fact, be getting another overtime cap right here, as it looks like there's little left that Tempest Typhoon can do. This time, they're going to be the ones caught in the storm. That is Frost Nova. But there's a couple of picks coming back in favor of Tempest Typhoon. I can't believe this. The respawn advantage is real. Dawn Super is going to be able to pop the rally. That's going to give him a huge advantage to them. Saki's out of the fight now. Tempest Typhoon may, in fact, be able to turn this back around and put this series to sleep. That's going to be Tempest Typhoon with the unlikeliest of wins at the last moment.
I am speechless. That was incredible for both teams. I mean, Tempest Typhoon looked like they were being rolled for the entire map, but boy, did they keep themselves just hunkered in at the very end there. That was unbelievable. Well played on both teams' parts. Congratulations, Tempest Typhoon.
Yeah, they come out of it with the win in the end, but Frost Nova made them fight for every single inch of it. And despite taking the win and Frost Nova falling to 0-4, they cannot be counted out in this tournament at all. Tonight is absolutely evidence of that. What a phenomenal performance from both sides tonight. And kudos to Tempest Typhoon. I mean, they were able to clutch it out in a couple of key moments. Volskaya Industries, that final defense, and here on Junkertown. And at the end of the day, it was their defense that I think won them the game.
All I have to say is if you had any question about either team's performance, think of the fact that we made it to a map 6 tonight. That just shows you how hard both of them were pushing it. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Now, we're not quite done with the evening just yet. We're going to throw it to a short break, but right after that, we're going to have an interview from one of the members of Tempest Typhoon. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you back shortly. After a 6-game banger of a match, we've got at least one player left standing long enough to get an interview from them. Panda Bear, congratulations on a hard-fought victory tonight.
Thank you, Juggle God. It's exhausting. I wasn't expecting to play for 150 minutes. But
yeah.
We came out with the win, so I mean, if it takes 150 minutes, it takes 150 minutes, right?
Yeah, there you go. At the end of the day, you do come away with a win. Well, I want to know from you, what was it like having to play, back and forth, counter pick after counter pick after counter pick? Was it exhausting for you all, or were you kind of energized by it all?
The counter pick, like you mean, as in the team comps, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah, because you all did a fantastic job, I think, of counter picking each other throughout the entire series.
Yeah, so it became pretty clear. We did a little bit of digging in beforehand, and it's like we're probably going to be facing against a Farah. We still didn't really know how we're going to do it, and first map is didn't really go our way, but we went to the second map, and I don't recall. I want to say it was Kreia. I could be wrong on this, but Kreia's like, why don't we try this Orisa Diva strat? Because we want to run the double shield, but we need a more specific Pharah counter. So like, we're gonna go Orisa Diva. After all, isn't that literally what Copium double shield is back when they banned Sigma in the Overwatch League? Like that was the thing, right?
Yeah, no, I think the Rissa Diva composition is fantastic. I think it's a very counter dive composition, and it worked to great effect, I think, all night.
Right, and it's evident because they had to swap off the far because we figured out how to play effectively with the Rissa Diva. I'm just sitting here as like, oh yeah, Panda, you got the barrage. It's no big deal, and I'm just turning my mouse in 720 degrees. I was like, where the heck is it? Life of a Diva player, I tell you.
You
Yeah.
gotta track a lot of things all at the same time. Yes.
Yeah. Of course, they eventually go running the zombie comp, right? The 6-man, and we have to adapt against that, which I say we're starting to get a little tired, and we aren't completely playing Oasis correctly, but still pulls through. They pull up the far again on Junkertown, and we're like, hey, we figured this one out already. Took a little bit to get back into it, but we pulled through.
So I am curious, Panda. What do you think map selection played tonight for you guys? Like, where do you think that really came in? Was it there a specific thought in mind when, okay, we need to make sure we play this map or that map? What was you guys' thought process with map selection tonight?
So when we were thinking, so our first map pick was the escort map when we had Route 66, Gibraltar, Ike, right? And this was after the first match which we lost, and we're like, we want to counter the Pharaoh as much as possible, and all the maps are fairly open, but it felt that Route 66 gave us the best shot at countering the Pharaoh. Of course, we end up trying out a wacky stuff, and it
Creative
works out.
comps, yes.
Creative comps, yes. The Creative Comps TM trademark. Tempest Typhoon can only use it.
All right, I'll pay my
We
royalties.
call it the Tempest special here. Actually, behind the scenes, we drop the first map, and then we don't lose after that. Of course, we ignore the details there. It's the Tempest special.
I love it. I do have to ask, reaction-wise with you guys, though. You had a couple of fantastic moments tonight where you threw a bomb and completely just swung a fight in a direction that was completely unpredictable. You get 2 kills, 3 kills with that. What would you say was the most intense moment of that tonight, where somebody on your team used an ult or had some kind of play that just completely flipped things for you? I know there's a lot to choose from. It was very hard for us to pick MVP, so you have a lot to go through.
Yeah, well, the kind of okay. Oh, actually, I know it was I think this was the play of the game on Volskaya where where we're running the brawl on attack, and we
Mhm.
know that the dive is going to come after us. And Yikes is 200 IQ, realizes
Yep.
they're all going to funnel in through that door on the right side, like from the defender's point of view, and it's like, heck this, I'm shattering.
I do have
like
to
like
say
actually,
the bait in was great.
yeah. So the beta was great, and like I don't know, I'm aren't there kids watching?
I mean, we're trying to keep it PG. We're trying to keep it PG here.
Okay. Well, I may have got a little when Yikes hit his shatters. Oh, let's
Okay,
just keep it
I
at that.
got you.
Let's
It was
keep it at that.
exciting. It was visceral. I
Yeah.
understand.
All right. Well, to close things out, I just want to know if you've got any shout outs for us tonight. Panda Bear, anyone on your team, family, friends, whoever.
Okay. Well, let's see. First of all, our old tracker Don, he's incredible. I chime in when I can because as a diva player, I'm always thinking about what I can eat, right? So I'm thinking Pharah, I'm thinking Tracer, Maid, right? Just that kind of stuff, right? And but Don's really helpful in reminding me to do that. So shout out to him. Zai popped off on Route 66 on
Oh
Decree.
yeah.
We all saw that one. Our mastermind Kreia, and then behind the scenes we're actually, I think at some point we're looking to add a coach who's been unofficially coaching us for a little bit now, and I think we're looking to add him at some points. I'll leave that as mystery, but unnamed coach is helping us out here.
They'll know who you're talking about, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming in for an interview. Congratulations again on a very hard and well fought win tonight.
May I
Absolutely.
interject with one more thing here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Highly unfortunate. Period.
What do you say? What'd you
I'm
say?
sorry, I
Highly,
missed that.
highly unfortunate. Leave it at that.
Highly unfortunate. I
Highly
think tonight's
unfortunate.
rather
Make that as
fortunate.
you
You
will.
guys won.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Okay, well,
All
mystery.
right, very
I
cryptic.
love it.
Yeah,
Maybe that's the
living
key
in
to the
us on a
puzzle we've been looking
mystery.
for.
Exactly.
All right, well, thank you, Panda, for joining us. We appreciate it. Well played for you and the rest of Tempest Typhoon and for Frost Nova tonight. Good job, guys.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. It's been a long but eventful and fantastic evening of Overwatch. Continue to tune in for more Hyperion action, but that's going to do it from us here. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to Oli Flea for producing. Thank you, Goop Dude, for being my co-caster tonight. GG's and see you next time.